Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone. I'm Andrew from Live from the Apocalypse. This is the cast of the next adventure we're going to do, an ongoing Call of Cthulhu 7th edition RPG called The Two-Headed Serpent. Boom. Very cool graphic and cover. All right. So we're going to be playing this adventure for a bunch of episodes. It's not a one-shot. It's a live, long-running campaign. And, well, we're going to have a good time doing it, and I hope you have a good time watching it. Now, why are we doing this? Because we're big nerds and it's a lot of fun, right? But why stream it? Well, we're working with Extra Life this year, right? Extra Life is a charity that donates to a children's hospital around the United States. This time, we're working with Washington National, Children's National in Washington, D.C. I cannot get that name right. It is killing me. Children's National in Washington, D.C. this year, and we're hoping to raise more than $10,000 to donate. Last year, we worked with Johns Hopkins Children's Center and raised $10,000 as a team, so we want to break that record and do something awesome. So hello to everyone who is watching, and let's meet the cast, right? We're not going to do this every episode, but let's get familiar with the people you're going to be taking this journey with over the next couple episodes and sessions. So let's start with whoever wants to go first. Talk about yourself as much or as little as you like. Nailed it.
All right, I'll go.
Go for it.
So I'm Will. I'm playing Dr. Oliver Inverness, who's a professor of mythology at NYU. And he's very interested in the myths that tie the world together and the secrets that have yet to be uncovered in their interrelationships.
Good character for a Pulp game. All right, who's next? Oh no, Joe, we can't hear you.
Oh no!
Now we can. Yes.
It had to happen at least once. I'm Joe Gates. I'm an improviser and performer in Philadelphia, and I will be playing Lord Cecil Davenport from Castle Davenport all the way out in Ireland. And I met all of these folks because I'm very interested in some very similar to Inverness here. I'm very similarly interested in myths and folklore. And I believe that there are historical things that have happened and they bleed their way into myth, and I want to find the crux of those two. But I've had a few encounters with some strange individuals in the past, and I want to see if there are more mysteries afoot.
And there definitely will be.
I can go.
Do it.
Hi, I'm Victoria. I'm playing Whaley, Wendy, Zhao. You're also called Miles. Wendy is like a cabbie that shares a cab with her dad as immigrants to New York City. And she has inadvertently become a main source of transportation for the Open Mind group and for these people. And she has a background in the slightly weird because of her mom's talent for it before she went crazy.
Cool.
Okay, I'm last. I'm Ash. I'll be playing Kelly Murphy, who is a second-generation Irish-American living in Queens as a boxer by day, but then hired muscle by night for the open-minded group in the Vanguard. And yeah.
All right, we got an exciting cast. So let's talk about this adventure, right? We're going to dive right into it. As we go, like I said, if you like what's going on, the link for Extra Life is going to be in the chat. Please donate. The year is 1933, New York City, Manhattan. Right? It's a city filled with people who have just the hustle and bustle of dreams and ambitions all coming together in a place where there's just a massive mixing bowl of energy and chaos and production and potential, right? This year, Franklin Delano Roosevelt becomes president. He's become president of the United States. The top song right now is Ethel Waters' "Stormy Weather." It's on the charts. Big record hit. The Empire State Building just finished construction 3 years ago. It is a now gleaming monolith to the testament of mankind's desire to climb higher and higher. And of course, top movies in the theater include King Kong and H.G. Wells' The Invisible Man. Right? And it is in this New York, it is in this time that we join our heroes who have just been asked to work for a company called Caduceus. Caduceus being a well-known charity and humanitarian organization that helps out people throughout the world, whether it be through natural disasters, humanitarian issues, or war zone relief. They are there to provide as much aid as possible. And our fine heroes have recently picked up a job to work with them down in South America. So, as you all are finishing up your time with Quentin Shapiro, right? He draws up those contracts with you all, explains a bit about the logistics and how you're going to get down there, talks about the humanitarian and medical capacities of Caduceus, and he says, all right, so I gave you the briefing. You understand what's all going to go down. I'll get you a little more information about the South America travel day of. We have a translator who's going to go with you, Dr. Arturo Uncini. He is a cultural expert and very fluent in Spanish. We're going to be very happy to help you, and he's been down South America multiple times, so he'll be a great asset to your trip. Can't say enough good things about him. And he hands you some envelopes, and he says, well, those are your tickets. All right, we're going to meet in 2 days at the harbor. Boat heads out from there. So whatever affairs you need to take care of, settle with your family, do say goodbye to anybody, now's the time to do it. Also, make sure you go by Caduceus headquarters. We talked about, we have a quartermaster there, Mr. Andrew Shekels, right? He's going to outfit you with whatever gear and supplies you need. Bolivia can be dangerous. There was a war. It was a skirmish very close to where you're about to go. Looks like the fighting's moved on, but it never hurts to have an additional bit of security, right? Well, I'll make sure everything's taken care of on my end, but I'll see you in 2 days at the harbor.
I'm looking forward to it.
Good.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
And Quentin straightens his trademark bright red bow tie, adjusts his suit jacket, and says, all right, 2 days. And heads out. So, people traveling to South America for the first time, some people leaving the country for the first time. Or at least in a long time, let's say. How's that go? Let's figure out how this looks. I'm gonna roll some dice. All right. Let's start with Kelly.
All right.
So,
Kelly, is excited. This is Kelly's first time leave country, really. Small-time boxer from where he's from, well known in his community, but not anywhere else, so hasn't had any opportunities to go anywhere else. He's dreading lying to his ma, so he's going to say as little as he can. He also has to go and talk to his coach, essentially to let him know he's going to be out of the country, or just away. So how I imagine that going is talking to the coach first, because that's easier.
woo!
Telling his coach, listen, boss, I gotta.
One for the big boy.
Thank you for your donation.
Oh, did we grip it and rip
We
it?
just gripped it and ripped it. We just got our first
Hell
donation
yeah.
of the stream, so thank you very much for the donation.
Going to the coach and just, listen, boss, I got an opportunity to learn a really cool fighting technique, and listen, I'm not going anywhere. I'm coming back, but listen, I can't pass this up, so I'll be back. I'll be back in about, I don't know, week, 2 weeks. We'll see.
But you're just gonna go and take 2 weeks off of training?
Well, no, I'll be training. I'll be throwing punches, but I'm not gonna get loosey goosey on you. I can't pass this up. I can't pass this up.
I mean, I get it. You're gonna go down and train, but what's so great about some South American fighting style that we here in New York can't replicate? I'm just
Listen. You're busting my balls here. I'm trying to do good by you by learning a new technique. Maybe I can bring it back here to the gym.
All right, I guess I can't argue with that. It does help to diversify, as we've been told, to kind of bring some hybrid stuff in, some sort of like maybe some sort of mixed martial arts. You know, that'd be kind of cool, mixing it up a little bit. But
yeah,
that'd be interesting. 2 weeks, huh? That's a lot.
I'll bring it back.
Oh. All right. Yeah, it'd be cool. See if we can find something we can put on the dojo wall, you know? Well, the gym wall. I'm picturing this place being like I'm picturing this being a bit of a boxing ring.
Absolutely.
That is just like filled with like old, just heavy weights.
Like just chipped and worn and a little rusty. Yeah. Absolutely.
So, and as you're talking to your coach, Wade, he's just like, all right, yeah, if you can find something, you know, there's been a lot of talk about trying to get a better aesthetic for the gym. So if you could, I don't know, if you see something cool, I guess I can let you go for 2 weeks, right?
Great. I'll become the interior designer while I'm gone.
Hey, you got an eye for it.
For Christ's sake. I'd walk out.
So, but seriously, make sure you keep your cardio up. He like yells out the door.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah, and talking to my ma, I just try and placate every question she has with, I'll bring you back something pretty. I'll bring you back, you know, what do you want? You want chocolate? You want jewelry? What?
So let's take a step back. The gym is just a gym in New York, right? That's a place where you go and train, and that's all well and good. But let's talk about the Murphy residence. Let's talk about Kelly's house and the dynamic there, right? Kind of paint a cool picture of that life.
Sure. It's a smaller apartment in Queens with me, my ma, my two younger siblings, I guess. I'm the oldest brother of the family, but also as such the baby of the family somehow. I don't know, but I'm the main breadwinner for that group, and we have a lot of family that lives around, but not quite in the apartment. So it's small. It needs a new coat of paint, but I've been working hard to keep everyone fed, and hopefully with this new pay coming in, maybe we can upgrade a little bit.
That'd be good, yeah. Been promising good money by Caduceus if you manage to get out there and are successful in your humanitarian work, right? So
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you're sitting in like this. I'm picturing this cramped little kitchen with stuff that's meticulously organized, but it's such a small space that it's still kind of stacked up on top of itself.
Yeah.
And your mom's sitting there at the kitchen table, and she's got her head in her hands, and she's like, I just don't understand why you got to go away. Like, I don't. Two whole weeks. Like, what? I get the money's good and everything, but I don't. Is it something I did? Like, is it?
Ma, no, Ma. Listen, the money isn't just good; it's too good. I gotta bring this home for us. This could get us a new place. You could have a nice new kitchen, a brand new stove. I mean, think about that, right?
I mean, she looks around and like at the busted stove and like the kind of just almost warped old vibe of the place, and is like, no, like I get that, but like that you say it's too good to be true. That's the thing that concerns me, right? I'm afraid that you're about to get yourself into something that I don't know. That's a lot of money for some work, right?
Yeah, but you know, I'm used to dodging punches, and you know, I do that day in and day out. And while this is good money, it's for a reason. You know, we've got a lot of stuff to protect us. I'm not going by myself. I'm going with a group of people. So, you know, I feel like, listen, I'll bring you back something nice, and you know, and look, the kids could have their own separate rooms now. We move somewhere nice. They're not punching each other. They're not kicking and hitting each other. They can have their own space and chill out a little bit. A little less work on you.
Go ahead and roll me a persuade or charm, right?
Okay.
Because Mom is very not happy about this, and she's a little sus about the amount of money.
Let me go, Ma. Let me go. Okay, wait. What am I rolling?
Persuade or charm.
Let's see. Oh Lord. Okay, we're gonna go with charm.
Okay, get it.
It's not gonna go well. I'm better at intimidating.
I mean, you can intimidate your mom if you like. That doesn't seem like
No,
your
I'm
style.
not. No, no. That's a fail. That's,
Okay.
Yep.
You offer to buy her something nice, and she just says, "No, it'll be." Kelly, I get it. You're an adult and you can make your own choices, and I'm not going to stand in your way with that. I just worry about you, you know?
I know, Ma. I know. Come here. I give her like a big hug, wrap her in my big muscly arms, and just try and comfort her as much as I can. This is hard on me too. I'm not crying, but like, it's really. I don't want to. This is probably the only time I've ever been away from her more than a few days, maybe, for travel and things like that. So,
yeah,
I'm choked up a little bit, but I'm not crying.
She leads into the hug. Your two siblings, Carrie and Alex, come in as well, and they have a lot of the same questions and a lot of the same, why do you have to go? What's going on? What are we gonna do while you're gone? You try and placate them as well, and eventually. Yeah, they're like, get off. Yeah, they do like a couple like cute fake punches at you.
Well, they can hit me. It's fine.
Like Alex like takes a swing, you duck and do a little bit of sparring in the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
He says, "Hey, we'll take care of Ma. We'll take care of everything here. All right. I think.
Thank you.
I think what you're doing is awesome. All right.
I'm coming back. Don't you worry.
I wasn't worried about that till you said something.
Oh, good. I didn't want to.
Why?
You seemed a little. It's fine.
You're doing charity work with Caduceus, right? You're not like.
What'd you just say?
Sorry, like you're supposed to be doing like charity work, right?
Okay. Yeah.
People come back from that normally.
Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna be protecting a bunch of people like how I protect you guys, but you're the man of the house right now, so you gotta stay strong. You gotta stay strong for Ma and for I'm forgetting the girl's name. I can't. What'd you just Mary?
Carrie.
No.
Carrie.
Carrie.
Yeah.
Write those down. Yeah. Trying to keep it light. Trying to make sure that they're not afraid, even though my little slip up of I'm coming back. But
no, you smooth it over.
Good.
The family again comes in for like a big group hug, and I think your mom's just like, all right, well before you leave, I'm gonna cook a real nice dinner for you. So make sure you come back tonight. Yes. We're gonna do it up and kind of celebrate you heading out.
Okay, all right.
All right. Love you, Kelly.
I love you too, Ma. And you two little suckers.
Cool. And we cut away from that apartment in Queens. And we'll head to... Let's roll some more dice. Yeah. We'll head to Professor Oliver Inverness and see what he's got going on. All right, so you leave this meeting with your contact, Quentin Shapiro. All right. Where do you go? What do you do?
So I've got a couple of things that I need to wrap up. First and foremost, I'm going to talk to my graduate students who are still working on their notes from that mysterious box.
Mm-hmm.
I'll reach out to Glenn, my research assistant, and let him know that I have an opportunity to do some more field work, potentially related to this artifact. And while I haven't been one for the field in the past, in this case, I think I can't possibly pass it up.
So yeah, that's interesting. You haven't been out You haven't been out in the field for at least a decade. Is that like how big is this thing?
The potential is near limitless.
All right, all right. What do you need us to do on this end? We're still doing our research into that box of stars you were working with. We found a few more Persian, I guess you call them fairy tales or some more folklore to go with it, but nothing concrete yet. We're still trying to pull that apart.
Work with Dr. Isfahani in the foreign language and classics department and see if you can come up with a better translation of that one Persian text. But yes, I'll. Oh, and of course, do. I know that you don't generally like when I involve them, but my niece and nephew do keep them in the loop on this research as well. You know how seriously I take their instruction in these things.
Okay, yeah, I'll keep them up to date. It's gonna be
They'll
how?
be starting in the fall, you know.
Oh wow, really? It seems like just yesterday they were. Man, time flies, right?
Yeah, well, a lot of people lost dads in the war.
That's. And Glenn just kind of gives like a heavy sigh, like, yeah, that's true, that's real true. No, I'll keep an eye on him. How long are you gonna be gone?
Well, I think we're sailing down, so several weeks at least there and back.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check in. I'll make sure everything's going well with the family, and I'll try and write to you
I've
and let you know whatever's going on.
I've already spoken to the dean and the department head, so we're square on that front.
Yeah.
This is very exciting, Glenn.
So, can you give me a hint about this thing? Right, like you're saying this is one of the biggest finds in a minute. What are we looking at exactly?
I'll send you more when I get to Bolivia.
Okay. Yeah, please, because anything I can do to help facilitate on this end, I am. Well, I mean, and you hear in the background the other two grad students, Zachary and Emily. They're just like clamoring. They're like, uh, they're whispering to each other on the phone. And Glenn's like, "Shut up, shut up." No, anything we can do to help on this end, we'd love to get involved in that. As you can feel the potential of these graduate students just foaming at the mouth for this incredible find and this potential publication. Right?
I think there's a dissertation for you, Zach and Em, you know, in this expedition alone. And I appreciate you all holding down the fort, you know, while we check it out.
You got it, Professor. We'll take care of things here, and I'm glad you took care of that with the dean because we're not tenured, you know. So you can have a bit of a.
He was surprised, I have to say. It has been a while since I was in the field. I think it was last with Dr. Jones in the Ottoman Empire.
Yeah, that was a crazy write up on that. I'm surprised it didn't actually become a bestseller because of the way that thing just played out. But no, I'm excited for this. This will be awesome. But all right, well, we got a ton of
I've
stuff.
never gone for dime novel fame. You know that.
That's fair. That's fair. I do appreciate that. Your commitment to academic integrity.
Yeah.
All right, we got a lot to do here. You can let us know what you need, and we'll see you in a couple weeks, Professor.
Thank you.
Okay. Who else do you need to wrap stuff up with?
Well, I'm gonna have to talk to the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as you all may recall, Oliver has been sort of, as best he can, raising his brother's children since he was killed in the Great War. They've followed him around as he's done his various teaching assignments, and he's been very particular about instructing them in all areas of his research. not just in the academic theories and sort of occasionally interesting, but not all that useful elements of mythology, but also in the real mythology, the one that doesn't get talked about except in meetings of the Open Mind Society or in our briefing with Caduceus.
Mm-hmm.
The mysteries that perhaps haven't had as much explanation in the academic literature, So it'll be an interesting conversation.
For sure.
I'll head back to my apartment in Manhattan and expect to meet them there after school.
What's your usual after-school routine like?
Usually, I'll be done with my classes around 4 o'clock. Um, Head back to my office, have office hours a little bit. Generally home for dinner by 6. Um, I have a housekeeper who, will cook dinner because I would probably light a bowl of cereal on fire if I tried to do it myself. And the kids will come in and do their schoolwork or whatever. But honestly, I've been so consumed by my research. It's been a lighter touch now that they've gotten a little bit older and able to handle themselves. Plus, with the streetcars running around now and the subway being built out, it's much easier for them to get around the city themselves without too much watching.
Yeah. No, they come rolling in around 5 o'clock. Right. The school day's been over. They're taking care of some stuff, probably some after-school studying. Um, And you immediately hear them just come crashing through the door. Like the bags go down off to the side. They start rummaging around for some snacks. You can hear like the heavy thuds of books like hitting the table as the two of them are just discussing discussing one of the books that they've been going over in their classes, right? And you can hear Sarah going like, "No, the whole point is that he's a protagonist. The protagonist is actually supposed to be someone who, if you look back into the history of it, uh, the hero's journey is actually kind of complicated and can sometimes end in an absolute tragedy. The only difference is whether or not, uh, well, how the rest of the audience views that tragedy and what impact it has on the world around him." And Brad's like, "Yeah, but like look, if the hero dies at the end, it's really not a heroic journey. It's actually just depressing." And they're having just this back and forth argument of like higher literature, right? As you come walking into the kitchen, like, it's just really depressing to see like someone go through all that struggle and at the end just not make it. You really want them to actually accomplish something. Oh, um,
One must imagine Sisyphus happy.
how do this is interesting. How do these kids like address Professor Inverness, right?
I thought about this. I'm not going to do the cold, distant thing. I care about these kids. I want them to be, prepared for the world. And if anything, I've been a little bit too intense in, teaching them sort of how the stars can align a certain way sometimes.
Okay. So they call you by Oliver. It seems
Yeah.
fitting. Yeah. Okay. So you come walking in, and they both look up from their books, and they say, "Oh, hey, Oliver."
Brad, Sarah, I have some news. You remember the box I told you about the other day, where we those rascals got the better of us, and we took delivery. Well, I've had the opportunity to go into the field in to follow up on some of the things that we learned from that, and I feel I simply must take the opportunity. It will probably be dangerous. We're going with Caduceus. You remember I've told you about them.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a good team put together, and I sail in a couple days. So I've asked Glenn and the team over at the university tell you, share some of their notes when they go over their latest findings. But you must be very careful. Must be very careful with the knowledge that comes from this box, because poor Cecil and I nearly blew up his living room the other day, not quite understanding how it worked. In any event, I'll be going to Bolivia for a couple weeks.
Okay.
I don't know if they have telegrams there or not yet, but I am certain they don't have phones, so I won't be able to keep in contact. I'll write, of course, but I don't quite know where we're going to be. As I get more information, I'll be sure to share it. But this is frightfully important. Could be a new area in my research.
They both have incredibly serious expressions on their face, and they start taking a couple notes. You can see Bradley pulls out a very large leather notebook. It's just got like smaller pieces of paper sticking out of it, bookmarks, and it's kind of worn. And Sarah pulls out a similar looking one, and they both start taking down notes. You can see they have like drawings of the box of stars from your descriptions in there, and like some notes about it. You can see the, Persian lore ? Potential, open to the potential of, or open it could release the potential of wishes or desire ? That kind of stuff, and stuff that you had kind of told them.
Yeah.
And they start adding more information about like Bolivia, where you're traveling to, and they say, okay, so this is serious then. What if you...
This could go to proving my core thesis about whether there is a single unified myth from the beginning of human history that the ones that we generally don't talk about perhaps had some influence in.
Is it serious enough that we have to have emergency protocols?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
I mean, again, this is a Caduceus operation. It's well funded. Should actually pay for your tuition.
Oh.
And your children's, actually. But the money's secondary to the research import of this, and I trust that you all will work with Zach and Emily and Glenn and the team to keep up, the finding here.
Of course.
In any event, I'm sorry, I've been completely monopolizing the conversation. I've been very excited about this news. But do you have other questions for me?
They kind of look at each other, and they have a little bit of concern, but they both say, no, I don't think so. I think everything... We know what to do in case something goes wrong, and we have a plan going forward, so... No. I think we've got this. Don't worry about us.
I never do.
I think around that time, the cook pulls some delicious food out of the oven. You can just smell delicious chicken and vegetables and these wonderful things and being set out, and you just hear 5 minutes.
Oh God, I'm famished. I've completely forgotten to eat today. Too much on my mind. Anyway, I appreciate you both more than you know, and I'm certain that when I come back from this expedition, we'll have made great strides.
They would nod and say, of course. Can we join the study team, or is that something that can't happen till later in the...
No.
Okay.
I think that it's not dangerous compared to my last expedition, but it's not dangerous.
Okay.
There was recently a war of some sort, and things seem to have calmed down now, but I don't really know. I'm going to have to go do a bit more reading.
Okay.
I need to learn Spanish, I suppose. Oh dear. Too much to do. Anyway, let's eat. Let's eat.
Yeah. And Flash got to the kitchen. You've got your cook Hildy. She's put this food out. She's like, Professor Inverness, food's up. Kids, food's up. And you have a wonderful meal with your niece and nephews. You're kind of going over the final details of this trip. So now we got a 50-50 coin flip. Let's see. As I roll a d6 for that. Because the numbers are fun. Cecil. Let's talk about it.
Hi. Well, Cecil decides to he's excited. He's also like a little scared, because of the episode that we had last time. As the good professor did mention, nearly scorched down my apartment, or my home rather. He makes his way home to his apartment. His apartment, actually, I think we discussed it's actually like a house.
Mm-hmm.
So tends to have green, like dark greens and some like light greens, like on the walls. The furniture is like dark cherry wood. The floors tend to be the same, like dark red, kind of like warm colors. A lot of like big red and gold rugs, and occasionally in like some of the rooms, the ceiling has like an azure blue or like an indigo blue, and stars up there, and different like patterns and whatever of different constellations.
It's a very, very lovely apartment, and a house. As you come home, Saoirse is going through, trying to get rid of the remaining charred things that are still around. Right, there is still in that lovely kind of that lovely and very fancy setup. The smell of that charred wood, some of those books that caught fire are still just kind of piled up to the side to be assessed if they can be salvaged or thrown out. The rug that you had laid down in the center of the room has just gone. It's just this barren carpet now. It's still nice, but that rug was very expensive, and it is very, very much been emulated. And she looks at you as you come in and says, "So, how did it go?"
Saoirse, oh, my lovely sister, you're looking so beautiful today. You do something different with your hair.
Yeah, and I had to put it up in a bun so I could pick up all the charred things around the house.
And yet you bring it back to the point. I'm so sorry. I'll help. Let me give you a little bit of help. I suppose Lexi has the day off then.
I asked her to not come. I don't know if she would be able to. I don't know what she would think with something like this, so I just give her the day off.
I think that's probably the wisest thing. Thank you, sister.
Yeah.
It went really well. We delivered the mysterious emulating box, as it were. The people took it away. They're going to be studying it. It won't ever enter this home ever again. I can promise you that. I was offered a bit of a job.
No?
Oh, yes. Miles, Kelly, the professor, and I all offered the job at the same time in all places, a little diner, like off some side street. You know the Caduceus company, aye?
Yeah, they're in the news a lot. Yeah.
There was a representative from Caduceus there. He wants us to do similar things, perhaps dangerous things, my friend. But he wants us to go to South America. I might be gone for a little while.
She kind of takes a heavy sigh, and is holding this interesting like carved antique that's like half charred up one side, and like she was assessing it to determine if it was worth salvaging. She kind of sets it down and just like looks directly at Cecil in the eyes and says, I want you to look at me and say that you're actually all right. Like you're actually making. Just tell me that this is something that you want to do, and that you really believe in it. I just want to know that that's the case.
He looks at his twin sister. Her eyes are still probably that like beautiful kind of like sky blue, whereas his eyes are like this weird kind of like faint. I think it was like periwinkle. And so like they meet eyes, and he takes his her hands in his, and he says, I believe in what they're doing. I believe that they're trying to make the world a better place. I know you and I have witnessed things far darker than we could ever imagine. We know that there's evil in this world. We know from the Great War that there's tragedy. We know there's loss of life, there's famine, disease, and all that. But we know there's things that are darker still. And I have you, my sister, to thank you for saving me from some of that darkness and looking after me as we come out here. I do still have doubts. You know for a fact that I do still have my episodes, and I am sorry to burden that on you. You carry so many burdens already. If you wish to come with me, I wouldn't say no. If you wish to stay here and I mean, take care of things here, keep your mind off of it. But I know that we came to New York in order to get me as far away from Ireland as possible.
South America.
However,
South America is further away.
Yes, it is kind of nice to be away, I won't lie. But right before the ground opened up, or I guess afterward, been quite a day. That yesterday, in my vision, I did see a gleaming light in the darkness, a singular cone coming at me. You know, like the lad with the lamp.
She looks really.
He spoke to me. Sorry.
She looks really concerned when you say that. Like.
Yeah.
Okay.
He said something to me. He said that he sees me, which makes me worry about staying in one place. So I think it might be good. Yes, I believe in this group. I believe in the friends that I've met. I believe that they'll protect me, and whatever we end up doing, I think we're going to be doing good. But I think it might be best if I left. But I do worry about you, and I don't want to leave you alone. I love you, sister. I don't want you coming to harm.
She says, she kind of puts a hand on your shoulder and says, I worry about you too, but you've gotten stronger since we left Ireland, and I think you can handle this. I know that you'll be okay. I can stay here. I can take care of. She just gestures towards like the charred living room. I can take care of this.
So many apologies. I'm so sorry.
You didn't do it on purpose.
Well, the professor did it kind of on purpose.
Well, then he owes me some money. She like points at like a nice mahogany table. It's just like charred on the underside. Like. I don't think it was done out of malice.
No.
And I think you're right. I think Caduceus is a good place to work. And I think they're doing good things in the world.
Aye.
And if you believe in it, I believe in you. So, that said, if you want me to come in the future, once this is situated, I'd be more than happy to.
Music to my ears. Thank you, sister. Searcha, I don't leave for 2 days, so you'll have 2 hands and legs to help you move everything and tidy up, as it were. But likely, this will, not that we would particularly need it, but this will pay well. And perhaps we can use that money to fix up everything as a bit of an apology for the professor on his behalf.
Of course. Well, if I got 2 days, then I'm going to put you to work. Help me grab this table.
All right. And he takes off his jacket.
Yeah, the two of you like start moving these like just heavy objects out of the house, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that's a setup for. That's a situation that's Cecil's situation. Excuse me. Is there anything else that he needs to take care of in these 2 days, or is it just spending time with Saoirse, getting the house right, and just repairing that little bit of damage on that bond as a small hell portal opened up in your living room that one time?
Just that one time. It was fine. It was very momentary.
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone in the party is going to be buying fire insurance.
Yes.
You just got to buy Mythos insurance. I have an idea. I'm going to write that down and come back to it.
I don't think he does anything else, but he does his best when he goes to sleep to set up any kind of like routines or like just kind of like superstitious stuff that he has found to work in protecting him at nighttime from any episodes he might experience.
Okay.
He does, I think, like maybe the day before, try to get a sense of how this journey might go, and I don't know if that's something that I can do with my special power.
Oh, absolutely, do it. That's
Great.
I love using cool powers and rolling dice. Let's do this thing.
All right, I'm gonna do the thing.
So, what power are you using?
I would be using the power of clairvoyance.
Yep, cool.
Alrighty, if I can find that. There it is. Oh, that is no. That is a no.
Okay. Did you super fail or is it just a fail?
I just regular failed.
Okay, that's fine.
So I like 2 above, 2 or 3 above what I really needed to get at. So
you do attempt to like. Clairvoyance isn't quite the same as divination, right? There's some overlap in the execution of the rituals to kind of see to a different place and to see to a different time, right?
Mhm.
But it's definitely wibbly wobbly and something you have not quite mastered. You try to get a gauge of how this journey is going to go over the next couple weeks, and you get these weird shadow images, right?
Mhm.
And they just kind of wisp by you, and they're whispering these unintelligible things, and you're deep in the dark jungle, and you just hear that, and another one whispers like and slowly glides by you, right? And then in the center is a solid looking person, right? Just this humanoid silhouette, who has this like comforting, radiating light about him, or it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then this humanoid shape splits into 2 overlapping humanoid silhouettes, and they both move in perfect unison as it walks in this serpentine pattern through the jungle towards you.
No.
And then that just all fades away. And you're back in your room, having attempted to complete this ritual, and there's just too many things that could potentially happen down there that it's hard to get a good grasp on what's next.
He wipes the sweat from his brow and decides to go to bed. So,
Well, that was terrifying. Okay.
that was terrifying. He's like, maybe I'll just go to sleep and leave that alone. So,
Very cool. Last but not least, right?
Okay, so Wendy has a plan. This is obviously going to be difficult to explain to her father, and like she's 17 years old. This is not like a, okay, Dad, I'm an adult, I can go. So she goes to her one like auntie, so like not someone who's like directly related to her, but part of the community that she lives in, who helps like organize where people get their jobs, and she's like the matriarch that kind of runs the like restaurant that serves at like a community meeting place and serves people food. And she's gonna like show the cash advance and be like, I can't possibly give up this opportunity. Like, I have to leave home, but I can't tell my father because he wouldn't approve of me being gone for so long, and like he won't know what to do without me. We need somebody to look in on him, like like he's a lovely man, but he can't take care of himself without a woman around.
She
goes,
she eyes you. She eyes the cash. She just goes, okay. Does this have something to do with the truck you borrowed the other night?
yes. And these are people that have too much money. They don't know what to do with it. And they're going to Florida on vacation, and they needed someone to drive for them, and they've decided that I am trustworthy to do that. But it would be 2 weeks of traveling with them, and I can't go to school during that time, and I won't be home to take care of my father. So I need a story for him that he will accept, and someone to help me look in on him and make sure he's okay.
Go ahead and roll Persuade or Charm as you're breaking down this story.
This is not going to go well. All right, hold on.
If only Florida Man was the most perilous thing we would face.
Right?
I don't think this group is ready for an encounter with Florida Man. He is the most powerful cryptid in existence. Nyarlathotep
I thought that was
itself.
that bear that ate a kilo of cocaine.
But then it ascended.
All right, we're gonna try Charm.
Okay, get it.
No, that's a fail.
Okay,
It's a regular fail, but it's a fail.
cool. Go ahead and describe where you're having this conversation. Right? Is this at home, at the laundromat? Like where is this happening?
So this is like the back table of the restaurant where like she's constantly like rolling up chopsticks, and they're like setting out the accounts and things because it's like the middle of the day, so the restaurant's not really going, but people are around doing their stuff.
Okay, yeah. So you're in the restaurant, and like she looks around to see if there's anybody else close by, and just leans in and says, "I don't want you involved in drugs. You can't be involved in drugs. There's too much money. They're gonna take the truck, and you're gonna just drive someone. No. What is actually happening? No."
I don't need the truck. They have their own very fancy car, and they want me to drive that. It can't be seen in the vegetable truck or the cab. So, I won't even need the truck.
But it's so much money. Why is it so much money?
I didn't ask. All they want me to do is drive. I thought we could tell my father that I was on a school trip. The kids that can pay for it are going to Washington, D.C., and we couldn't pay for it, but he doesn't have to know that.
You see, she's like staring at you and then looking over at the register area at the like stack of bills that are there for the restaurant that and she's like looking at that and then looking at you and looking at the cash advance and
this could help not just my father and I, but so many of us.
Okay, promise there's no drugs.
I promise I will not touch anything that is drug-like. Yes.
You have to ask them if they're doing drugs too, and say no if that's the case.
I will avoid it as best I can.
Okay. And she seems a little relieved at that and says, "Okay. I'm still concerned, but we do need the money. So I just don't want you to get involved in something that will get you hurt. And I don't want to be the one to cover for you and tell your dad one thing and have you get in trouble somewhere else, somehow, in some way. Right?"
I understand, Auntie.
Okay. Field trip. You said to Washington?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For a history class. Very American.
She nods. Okay, I think that'll work. Is it 2 weeks?
2 weeks. Two weeks.
Okay. I think
2 days. 2 days.
I think I can make that work. Just don't come back with anything crazy, and it should be good, and then we don't talk about it. Maybe read a book or two while you're gone, and you can tell him about what you learned at the museums and everything.
Yes, I can do that. I will bring books with me and a notebook so it looks as though I have taken notes.
Okay.
Yes.
You know, I think your mother would be very, very proud of this. Your dad sometimes doesn't understand, but your mom understood what it was like to put herself out there for the family. And I see a lot of that with you. And it's very brave, but she kind of gestures. It's also a concern.
Wendy's eyes are like filling with water right now, and she's like making them very big, like I am not gonna cry. But yes, Auntie.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, that you still have to work the rest of your shift, though. I have to.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't have anybody
I'm going
else.
back.
Scheduled.
Going back to the laundry as soon as we're done.
Okay.
May I bring my father? And she'll like gesture to like the bow and like lotus root and stuff, like, you know, just to make it a little bit easier to tell him that I have to leave.
Of course. Please. Take what you need.
So she's gonna like pack up goodies to be like, you can feed yourself when I'm not here, right?
If you want, I will break the news to him first.
Yes, please, Auntie. Thank you.
Okay. I'll do that. Maybe stop by after the shift. You two have dinner. I'll let him know what's happening first.
Thank you. Yes, I don't have to be the one that lies first.
No, your aunt, Shaylee, has decided that she's going to help you with this endeavor, right? Doesn't quite approve, but, we're here. At the end of the day, you've worked your shift at the laundromat. You head back to the house. Go ahead and describe your home.
We live in a tiny one-bedroom place that's above one of the other businesses. So you have to go through the shop on the first floor in order to go up to the apartments. It has a tiny stove that only works some of the time, and nothing. Her father takes the bedroom, and she sleeps on a fold out futon-y bit from what rolls up to become seating. And they've got things that were not originally furniture that are now furniture. So dairy crates as both seating and putting on things. But they've also got very nice stuff from home. So they have a very nice ceramic tea set that they have. And there's a little altar set up in the kitchen with permanent little fixtures underneath it, little tiny cups of alcohol or an orange, or and her father will be sitting on the floor in front of one of the crates, or the low table, and he's got a cup of coffee or tea, and he's reading, and maybe chattering with one of the neighbors, also a man, and so she'll come in and she'll, oh, Baba, did you have a chance to talk to Auntie today?
He doesn't say anything at first. He just pours out a second thing of tea and puts it down on the table in front of you and just sips his. He's just and this is a process, right? When you come and ask that question, he looks at you, just gives you a nod, goes over, turns on the stove, shakes it, turns on the stove again, and it actually lights. Waits for the water to boil.
Yep. And I'm
Gets the
just
boiling
gonna sit
water
next to the table. I'm gonna put the little baggie I brought of goodies in the middle of the crate and just sit there.
Just gets a glass, pours the tea, slides you the cup.
Thank you, Papa.
He says, I did talk to Auntie. I wish you would have let me known sooner that you were leaving. 2 days before a trip like this?
I didn't know I was going to be able to go, Papa. Normally you have to pay, but there's a scholarship for some of us to go, and I guess somebody else dropped out, so I will get to go with them.
I am very happy you have a chance to go do this for your education. I think that's so important. It just... Next time, please let me know as soon as you know something, because I gotta find people to cover your shift now. There's just so much happening. It's hard enough, but I want you to go. You just have to tell me sooner in the future.
I promise I told you and Auntie as soon as I knew.
I understand. And he looks around a little confused, and he goes, oh, I didn't make anything for dinner. I'm so sorry. it slipped my mind.
You don't normally, Dad, but Auntie invited us over to the restaurant so we can eat with her tonight.
I love the idea that like he always is like, oh yeah, I'll make dinner tomorrow, and this has been like an ongoing trend for the last 40 years. Just like cannot get right with that, and he just like nods, looks a little surprised, like, oh, I can't believe I forgot. No, I would love to have. Yes, I would love to have dinner with all of you. Let's do that.
Like in my head, he's got the typical dad. Like he knows how to make like one meat thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's his thing that he does for like special occasions or celebrations or whatever. But everything else is she does it. So like the fact that he made tea is probably it's like a little bit like more leafy than normal.
Mm-hmm. The leaf to water ratio is like 50-50. That's real strong tea.
Shit. Like I can't say anything, but you just wasted a ton of money.
Yeah. Wow. It'll swing wildly like that, or like just a little bit. Sometimes there's mostly like water with the hint of tea.
This is how like my dad was growing up with oatmeal. This is how he is with tea. Yeah.
But ultimately, your dad seems very supportive of your educational travels, right? So he's just very, very stressed at the idea of you leaving in 48 hours and having to figure out what to do with all of that. And, you know, he and your aunt sit down, you all have a lovely dinner, and he says, when you come back, I want to hear all about your trip. I'm so excited. I've never been to Washington, D.C., and I hear it's very lovely, and I'd like to know more about it.
I am sure it will be educational. We are visiting many museums and walking amongst the monuments, and there are cherry blossoms.
Yeah, he nods and says, okay, I look forward to hearing all about it when you get back. And the three of you have a lovely family dinner, right? And kind of fades into the evening. Is there anything else that Wendy needs to take care of before she leaves?
I'm figuring we're all going to the quartermaster, but she has nothing, so going to get outfitted is going to be important because...
Yeah.
Yeah.
The quartermaster scene is going to happen basically like the night before, so everyone kind of takes care of all their cool family stuff, right? And then you have a time that you can go to Caduceus HQ and actually meet with Mr. Shekels, the quartermaster, right? I have to actually open the book. Terrible. So, you go inside. Okay, so you get to Caduceus, the Medum building, right? Caduceus is run by a gentleman named Joshua Medum, who is previously was a powerhouse industrialist slash venture capitalist who hit the leagues of that Rockefeller, Carnegie level of just absurd wealth. And then around 1914, in the early 1910s, 1914s, he sold all of his investments and holdings, basically just grabbed up all this cash he had, and then built Caduceus from the ashes of his previous business empire, and devoted all of his finances to the humanitarian war relief and natural disaster relief that Caduceus stands for nowadays. The building is a beautiful 20-story tall, gleaming in New York, almost not quite a skyscraper, but it's quite large for the time, right? It's got a beautiful, almost observatory dome on the top, right? As you approach, you get the just sense of even for a charity organization, this is a building designed by someone with incredibly elegant taste and refinery. As you walk into the main lobbies, there are a couple different sets of elevators, and one of the people at the front desk, recognizes you, gets you all checked in, takes you to the elevator, pulls a lever, and takes you up to the 7th floor. And he says, let me escort you real quick over to the quartermaster. And, yeah. Down the hall to the right, follow me. So, I'm going to show you once. After that, you have your badges. You can just walk in and out, right? Just pick up the badges on the way out at the desk. So, he walks you down the hall to the right, and there's a room that is just billowing what seems like cigar smoke. As you get close, you can just smell that, like, fine tobacco. And the elevator guy is like, okay, well, as far as I go, he's in there. His name's Mr. Shekels. Have a good one. And, like, turns around and heads back to the elevator. And you can just hear him inside, like, when a gunshot goes off. Just kind of, like, muffled but ringing out of the office. And he's like, all right. Yeah, sustainable. Invest more. Is there somebody out the door? What's up?
Is it safe to come in?
It's always safe to come in. Well, it depends. Do you work here? You hear like a revolver click.
We do.
Oh yeah, come on in.
All right. Davenport like listens for like maybe the gun being put down somewhere.
I'll walk in first. Just kind of like
Cecil kind of like gives a nod to
Wendy
Kelly.
had to like peel herself away from the wall of the elevator because that was terrifying. And I was like behind everyone in the hallway. Like, by all means, you guys are going in first.
You can roll
I
it
hate
in.
this already.
So Shekels is an older dude. He's got like just a little crazy wiry patch of hair. He's wearing a nice like blue button up. He has a jacket slung over his chair. He has a big cigar in his mouth. And he has like what looks like just like burns or other weird like scar marks on his arm, like not all up and down, but just like kind of dotted and scattered. And he like sets this revolver down. You can see there's like a massive ashtray in front of him that's just like has half smoking cigars that have been put out there in this small pile up. And then he's just got a variety of bizarre things on his desk. You look over to the to one side of the room. He's got a Woolward mannequin dummy actually that's been set up with a vest on it, about 15 feet away from his desk. That's like rocking still from an apparent gunshot where he just like shot this ballistic vest for testing purposes. And he's,
What kind of eyes does he have?
triggered by the mannequin.
he has bluish gray eyes that are wild with passion and energy, right? And he looks at all of you and he says, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, you're the new group. Okay, what's up? Andrew Shekels, you can call me Shekels. I do the quartermaster stuff here. I've got some gear for you, and I guess I can fit you out with whatever else you need. You're the ones going down to Bolivia, right?
That we are.
Okay, cool. And he like slides some stuff off of his desk, opens up a file cabinet, just smashes like a manila folder with a bunch of papers on it. He's like, yep. Okay, cool. Here. And he slides each of you the items that you have, right? So he slides you like little boxes of them. Each one has your name kind of like slapped on there. He says, all right, that's for you.
You shouldn't have.
Hey, Quentin came down here. He told me that you asked for something. Well, you, Cecil, right?
Okay. Lord Cecil.
Yeah.
Davenport.
Oh, Lord
You're-
Cecil. Hell yeah. All right, cool. Nice. Now I got a quick description of all of you. So what? Cecil, Wendy, Miles. Which one are you going by? I got both in your portfolio.
Miles is fine.
Miles is cool.
Sure.
All right, I'll dig it. Kelly and Doctor, Professor, Mister, Inverness. What are we doing here?
Call me Oliver.
Oliver, it is. All right. Yeah, they give me a quick rundown of you guys. I got some of your paperwork you filled out, right? So those are yours. Those items are yours. You got to bring them back. Okay? It's super important that you actually account for these things and bring them back. So it's not normal that Mr. Shapiro signs off on something for a first mission like this, but
What are the consequences if we don't?
Sorry, I couldn't quite hear you there. There's a bit of a ringing from the gunshot.
The what? Oh, he like pulls some cotton out of his ears. Oh yeah, no, the gunshot. I was just testing some vests. Still in R&D mode, but once I get those up, try and get them out. Right, that one. It seemed to hold up, but you gotta continue testing these things, right? So no, the consequences if you don't bring this stuff back. Well, I mean, one, it's really valuable, right? Like these things are hard to find. Can't quite replicate them. I didn't make them. These are just like cool trinkets that have been picked up by other ops. So, or I guess other charity missions, right? Is that charity missions. So
Wendy didn't look apprehensive until he mentions that, and then she's like gonna like tap the box.
So if you lose them, we've lost something that can't really be recreated, right? So that's the consequence. Also, it might piss off if Joshua met him. He might come down here and yell at you, and he's got a hell of a yelling voice. So don't do that.
Heard.
Mm-hmm.
Understood.
But those are yours, and then tracking. There was a skirmish down there, so I'm going to give you all I'll have them loaded onto the boat, where I'll give you all the basic, a couple of rifles, pistols, that kind of stuff, medical supplies. You got a group going with you for some security. Be honest with you, most of them though, they're doctors or porters, so should be fine. Just saying, you'll have some arms and equipment, right? Not going to send you to a potential war zone with nothing. That'd be crazy.
Well, our cover is a humanitarian mission. Presumably, we also get some humanitarian supplies to bring to the poor Bolivians.
Oh, tons. No, 100%. He starts flipping through files. No, there's about a dozen doctors going down there. Like, they're going to go to a camp, and they're going to actually take care of some stuff. That's their role, and they have a ton of supplies. They're just going to help them get that stuff to the camp, and then, well, you got Mr. Shapiro's notes, right? You're going to go out there and basically take care of business as you... Did he tell you all this? I'm sure he'll fill you in on the rest of the details. It's certainly not my place.
One would hope.
Oh God.
Cecil like narrows his eyes and kind of like shares a moment with the professor.
But yeah, hey, look, just go open those boxes, make sure they fit right? Make sure all that stuff is correct. And then I need you to sign some stuff because, again, if you lose it, that's on you, not me. So go ahead and you can describe the cool items that you were given by Caduceus. Thanks to Cecil saying they wanted some cool supernatural stuff to help them out.
Who wants to go first?
I can go first.
I was gonna say not I because I closed that. So
Kelly opens up his box to see these black hand bracers with drops of ornate ruby red blood that kind of like move through them, I guess. I'm not sure if those are meant to look like gems or if it's like pulsating through the item. But they kind of are sitting still now, but as soon as I try them on to fit them, I notice that it matches up and syncs with my heart rate. Do you want me to explain what it does?
That's up to you. The cool description's enough for me. So.
Okay.
Yeah, Kelly pulled in these cool bracers. Put them on. They sync up to Kelly's heartbeat, and Shekels is like, "All right, cool. They fit. That's good because you got you got gains. I like that."
I'm gonna start just trying them out, essentially, like not on anything, but just
like
seeing how they
little
fit.
shadow boxing. It's like, damn.
Yeah.
How big are you? You got like what, 16-inch arms? Like you got huge.
Yeah, you want to feel them?
Kinda. And he like
come over
feels
here.
your bicep, like, all right, yeah. Damn.
Try not to choke on the cigar cough or the cigar smoke.
So. All right. Who's next?
So
I can go now. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Miles.
Wendy's going to like gingerly lift up the top of the box and put it to the side. So she has a medallion. It's a coin that has Chinese characters on it, and it's in red and gold. So the outer part of the coin has a message on it that says "Fate is fickle, and change it with care." So she has, she's gonna like stare at it and like rub over it, and then kind of like put it in a pocket and close the box again. Yes.
Cool. I like that one a lot. So, like I said, don't when you use it, really commit to that thing, right? Otherwise, you're gonna have a weird day.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Oliver reaches across the desk, picks up a long, thin box. Where was it? I had something for this. It looks sort of like this, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it's made of teak or some fairly light but hard tropical wood. It clicks when he opens it, and inside is a pen. It's purple and gold, and it's extraordinarily heavy. It feels like it might actually be made of gold or something really dense, lead or I don't know. Anyway, but he's sort of drawn to it. It actually, when he opens the box, you see his eyes sort of light up, and he's kind of drawn in. And he has this sense of a terrible and precarious balance that's being maintained.
Yeah, with that, you gotta be real careful with that thing, right? It's gonna help you basically. We've used it a bunch of times. Going to help you kind of keep notes on whatever you see out there. Should help you kind of remember stuff without too much issue. Bad day, you'll remember it forever, and that's just kind of your life now, right? So just again, use with caution, but should help you, especially Professor, Doctor, right? Yeah, Oliver.
What I wouldn't have done to have this in the Ottoman Empire mission. My God. Thank you. And he sort of stuffs it into his jacket pocket and looks around kind of nervously.
All right. So Cecil kind of like gingerly like picks up the box. Seems like kind of smaller. And he opens it up. And inside there is a pendant and two cufflinks that match them. The cufflinks are identical. They're made from, let me see, made from gold with open eye symbols with dark irises set against a black background. The pendant is made with an unnaturally light silver chain, and on the chain hangs a golden symbol of an eye which is shut. He puts it on, and then removes his like silver cufflinks and replaces them. And for a moment, he's just like, very nice accessories. I'm more of a silver person than a gold, but thank you so much. And then for a second, the eye kind of seems to open a little bit on his pendant, and then shuts again. If I'm correct, everybody just in the room seems to feel this great sense of unease, as if they're being watched by somebody else.
Says, yeah, same thing with that, right? It's kind of creepy, kind of useful. So just maybe keep that pendant to yourself, right? Yeah, it's much better. It doesn't feel like the hair on the back of my neck standing up. Whew.
What is the origin of this? I do wonder.
I'm not the historian here. I'm just the quartermaster. I could probably figure out where it's logged. Flips out through a couple pages of notes, and he's like, The history of it is received May 1883. Signed out today. Signed this, by the way. Signed out today.
A very storied history indeed, but no country of origin.
None that's written. I'm sure I can get through the record to try and find something. If you really want me to dig for that, that's cool.
Oh, I wouldn't mind knowing just a little bit more.
I'll take a look around. We've got a library I can check out.
Thank you. Professor, he like nudges Oliver. He's like, they have a library.
I'm positively giddy.
I can see from the change in posture and the general aura of you perking up.
He's actually
he like looks at Wendy and kind of winks. So,
Shekel says, "Yeah, we got all sorts of stuff here. We'll get you set up with that when you get back, right? So you can have some like research space. Maybe get you an office up here if you need it. Again, just make sure the first mission goes well. If you lose this stuff, if you lose the medical supplies, if a bunch of people like just I don't know get artillery bombed in the camp, like it's probably bad, right?"
Likely, I would imagine so.
Yeah, so we just want to have like good positive things to report, and then that helps you, that helps me. I get a promotion, you get an office, everyone's happy, right?
It seems like we've signed on for a lot more than we initially believed.
Huh. Well, that's Caduceus, always going above and beyond, right? Hey, make sure you sign all these things, and then you have a great day. And he walks you through all this like signature paperwork for the items, and with another like billowing cloud of smoke, you just like leave his office and can like see again for the first time and head out. All right.
Quite an interesting fella. I'm quite glad that we got some special trinkets and whatnot.
The fact that we have these makes me wonder why we need them. Well, never mind. We knew that with the caliber of artifacts that they'd had us pursue at the docks, that there was going to be some fairly intense mythological activity in our future.
We still don't know quite what we're doing down there, though. That is the one thing that might make me rest a little bit better, what I know.
So on that note, you guys have the last night kind of hanging out in New York, right? You kind of take care of whatever last minute things you have out there, and then in the morning, you meet Quentin Shapiro and Arturo Uncini, right? And Quentin, as promised, is going to give you a little more detail on what exactly it is you're getting into down there, right? So you meet at the docks. He's actually about an hour before the ship is supposed to disembark, and he sets you up in like a small office. There is a smaller gentleman who's got very like Rick Moranis vibes. He's kind of like skinny, big glasses. Again, just a shock of like thick brown hair, and just crazy dark tan though, right? And Quentin, again dressed in like a nice dark. He's got a dark suit jacket this time. His essential red bow tie. He comes walking in. And he says, "All right, big day. This is it, right? I told you I owed you a few more details. Well, I'm going to deliver, and of course I wanted to give you a chance to meet Dr. Uncini as well. He's going to, like I said, be your translator and cultural expert as you're heading down to South America." Dr. Uncini speaks up and says, "Hello, I am Dr. Uncini. I am very happy to make all of your acquaintance, and I am happy to once again be working on a great project with Caduceus." Now, he makes the introductions, right? It says,
How I do have a question.
Yeah.
How sincere did Dr. Uncini say all of that? How sincerely did he sound?
Roll psychology.
I will.
Yeah.
That is nothing, even with the bonus that I just got.
Okay. Anybody else is welcome to roll as well. I'm also just loving the Rick Mortanis. There it is
No.
describing our
You monster.
I was there. I was like in my brain. I was like, "Where is it? Where is it?" Rick Mortanis. There it is. So, great dude. Anyway, anybody else want to roll?
No, I'm good with this guy.
Okay. So, so if you donate money, the terrible puns will actually stop. So,
Lies.
Or increase.
Yeah.
or increase depending on audience voting. Right here we go. So he says, Arturo says, "All right. So like I said, Professor, I owed the comments. Professor, I said I owed you and all of you a little more information. I told you we'd go down to look for an archaeological find in Bolivia. I told you that it would be something that would absolutely blow your mind. Well, here it is. About a month ago, on the Bolivia-Paraguayan border, right, there was a skirmish. Things got a little intense. A lot of people got hurt. A lot of people got killed. Caduceus, in response, we sent out an aid team, right? Sent out an honest-to-God aid team, like doctors, engineers, anybody we could get out there to help out as much as possible. A small village got caught in the crossfire in that initial fight. So they've been down there for a little while now, about 2-3 weeks, trying to get situated. And they wrote back to us, and they discovered that a large well-like structure was with a big stone steel on the top was blown apart due to some artillery fire. And they found deep inside of it a mural of all sorts of ancient looking, well, it's kind of hard to describe from the letters, but it was just ancient writing, ancient drawings, and it all seemed to link back into something that they referred to as the Dreamer down there. It's something that the locals believe in. There's a festival to the Dreamer, somebody who is supposed to be able to kind of grant wishes or set people up for a more prosperous and better future to achieve, well, their dreams, right? And we hadn't given that much thought or credibility until we found this mural down there, and we think there actually may be something down there worth looking into, right? Whether it be more of these murals, or more information on this actual Dreamer. We want to confirm if this thing is down there in some capacity. And if it is, we want to make friends with it, right? Or if we find something that I don't think that's going to be the case. He laughs at his own joke. He's like, look, I don't think that's going to be the case, but I do think there is something down there worth finding. A huge archaeological discovery is just waiting for us. And who knows what knowledge could come with that, right? And Arturo speaks up. He says, the locals believe thoroughly in the Dreamer and almost worship them like a god.
Dr. Unzini, is this Guarani people or who is whose mythology are we exploring here?
This is a local village that lives down in Bolivia. They believe thoroughly in the Dreamer, and they are about to. He looks at a small pocket calendar. About to start the festival of the Dreamer. Very soon. They traditionally during these festivals make small what sacrifice, but not in the way you traditionally think. It's it's fruit or it's crafts, something like that, are taken and given to the dreamer for potential future prosperity. It's no bloodshed or human things. It's not that type of sacrifice.
Well, that puts my mind at ease.
Just a little bit.
I'm happy that I could help.
I just want to note that I would die for him, and that's all.
So, but yeah, so he gives you a couple maps of the area. Arturo gives you some maps of the. Sorry, not Arturo. Quentin gives you some maps of the area. It gives you a little more about the culture down there, but effectively, that's what they have. There is a broken well with interesting. You can call them like runes or sigils on top of it, right? That was exploded, and then from there they found this interesting mural, and they want to know more about what's going on with all that. And of course, the big thing to mention is like there is also still a humanitarian crisis down there, right? So we cannot forget that. We're sending you down with a bunch of extra doctors, a few more engineers. There's some Bolivian soldiers down there who are providing security to the camp, so they should be able to help you out once you get there. But they need supplies, and those are going down as well. So while you guys have this to focus on, remember there are people working very hard on other things down there as well. So help them out where you can and make their lives easier, because at the end of the day, right, if we don't actually help out the world, there's no sense in trying to save this place.
I couldn't agree more.
So everything's loaded up. What he kind of like checks his watch. What do you need from me before you depart? Oh, you know what? We got one more thing from Shekels actually, and he like pulls out a small box and opens it up. It's filled with like radio components. It says, "There's a radio down in the camp that they have some issues with. I guess parts fried." Bottom line is, one of the gentlemen going down with you should be able to repair it with these pots. So you get those at camp, and if need be, you can try and reach back to us at Caduceus. Gotta be careful about time of day and how that all goes down, but you should have a line back to us at least for an hour or two a day. Just don't lose the pots. Can't do much about that.
You have our word. We'll try to, once we have it fixed, we'll try to reach out to you, find out the best hour to do it, I suppose.
I wish you told us about this sooner. I must get back to the library quickly and get everything I can find on the sacred cenotes of Chichen Itza. And Oliver, but no, wait, stop, think. Sorry.
Oh, there is no need.
You were saying?
There's no need for you to panic. I am a walking library on South American culture. I can assure you I've spent my entire life's work studying this area of the world, and we'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. You are an expert in your field, Professor. I am an expert in mine, and I am here to help.
Quite kind of you.
Furious scribbling.
It's a well with a wall? Like Wendy's clearly confused about the idea that like a well broke open and that somehow there's walls on the inside. Like how big is this thing?
Quentin picks up like a letter that he was sent. It's pretty deep. They estimated this thing to be about 100 feet, maybe more in depth.
And there are, I suppose, there are caverns or something, tunnels down there.
I just said it opened up to a big room. Part of it is the difficulty of trying to get back more information, right? More photographs, more documentation of what's going down there. And the people looking at it don't know what it is they're looking at. They're just aid workers. They're just soldiers. They don't actually know they don't have the access to the information we do, which is why we're asking you to go down there, right?
Much appreciated. And the villagers, do they know about the murals of the dreamers, and has that excited them, or are they being kept in the dark?
Unsure at this point. It seems that if they had evidence that would further support their beliefs, they would be very happy about it. And in fact, they would probably view it as a good omen given the impending Dreamer Festival. They would be very excited.
Well, I suppose it might be best we get going so we can explore it and make sure none of them get down there if there is anything dangerous down there.
All right, well, I wish you the best of luck. You got the radio. Let us know if you have any issues. We'll get you as much backup as can. It's just going to take time. That's all. All right.
I much appreciated.
All right. And you hear like the boat horn going off, and he says, "Better get going."
Davenport grabs all of his bags. He has quite a few, and just starts lugging them up there.
Okay.
Wendy will grab one of his because she has a backpack and a little gym duffel size over her shoulder.
Yeah, Kelly will grab as much as he can carry, but only has a duffel to himself.
I'll get this one too.
Oh, that's mighty kind of both of you. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Wendy. He looks at their bags and he looks at his stuff. And he looks a little forlorn.
I don't have very much, Mr. Lord Davenport. I don't.
Oh, no trouble. I likely shouldn't have packed 2 swimsuits or so. I'm only going to burn anyway.
I just found out that we're going to be traveling in caves, so you might have come better outfitted.
You can see as people are getting loaded, the last minute stuff's being loaded up on the boat. There's a group of about 20 people, and Quentin does introduce you to them, right? But they're all the aid workers and medical staff and other engineers, and anybody else that's going down to help out with this effort. They are just in a large group, and you can see that crates with the Caduceus logo are being loaded onto this cargo ship as well, kind of being hoisted up by the little pulley system, right? And that's all the massive amounts of medical supplies, tent, food, tent, camp supplies, all that kind of stuff. And there's a quick meet and greet. They all kind of get to know you. There's a million NPCs. I'm not going to introduce all of them, but if you want to talk to any of them, there is a dude who is in charge of the medical group. But other than that, they just get you settled in, and you embark on your journey. All right. And I think this is a good time to take a quick break as the ship kind of sails out of the harbor past the Statue of Liberty and on to South America. We'll take 5 here, and we'll be right back.
See you in 5.
Hello, everyone. We are back. We're going to continue our amazing journey down to South America with our brave heroes who have joined Caduceus and are trying to make the world a better place, while simultaneously realizing that there's a little more sinister underlayer of their actions, which is kind of cool. So, the boat heads out. And when this is where you see it's Pulp, right? The travel red line appears. You can start bouncing around the map. It's incredible. You head down, you dock, you catch a small plane, you're brought in, you catch a bunch of cars. You're brought to basically the start point and start hiking. It's about a full day's hike into the jungle to where this camp is set up. So you have, again, these, you have a navigator, you have these medical professionals, you have these engineers, you have Dr. Uncini who's with you. You have just a slew of porters who are helping just carry these supplies in, right? Just big Caduceus crates that they have broken down and turned into manageable packs of food, water, what have you, everything that this camp needs. And you are heading through the Bolivian jungle, right? It is hot, it's sticky, right? There's a lot of ambient noise, even with people crashing through the underbrush. And as you look around, though, it's like you're almost in another world. I mean, compared to a couple days ago, you were in New York, right? Now you've gone from this concrete jungle to a literal one. And what are people's thoughts as they start crashing through the brush, basically?
Kelly is probably a little bit seasick. I would think that he's probably hanging onto the railing, trying to take in sights, but also mostly there to spew some guts. But bewildered, has never seen this much green in his entire life, despite being Irish, and just is trying to take it all in.
What are your thoughts on this jungle setting, right? Like, it's hot, it's sticky. There's like weird plants that scrape you sometimes. It's also beautiful. There's vibrant colors, wild things you've never seen before.
Yeah, I think it's mostly just awe, not knowing how or what to do with this new information, or I guess, the fact that this exists. Probably seeing it in books or magazines or movies. Movies were a thing around this time, right?
King Kong came out this year.
Thank you. Great, thank you. Yeah, the fact that that's real is incredible, and that he can touch it is wild. This big tough man has become a child again and is like, what?
That's so cool. Yeah, cool. Enjoying this wonderful, if not a little uncomfortable experience, right? Wendy.
Kelly, the ape from the King Kong movie actually came from around these parts. You should keep your eye out for it.
Is it really that big? Don't lie to me. Is it that big? It can't be that big.
They had to use a juvenile for the film. They couldn't handle an adult.
Oh my god. Nobody told me about this. Do we have enough guns?
Sure. It's your department.
Heck.
I love it.
Wendy loves, like, this feels a little bit more like her childhood feel. So like the comfort of it is like, oh, okay. Like, active jungle, not exactly what I was expecting. But since we're gonna be going into a cave system, that's the part that's like giving her pause. So, like, as they're like hiking, her thing is like, what am I gonna do with an office? Like, come back with the. I don't. Okay. Carrying on, and I've got like one of Cecil's bags that I'm carrying next to the duffel, and like probably another one that I snagged under an arm, like just ready to go.
Cool. Yeah, you're just trekking through this kind of nice and familiar jungle, trying to think about how you're going to deal with that corporate 9 to 5 when you get back. Sorry, nonprofit 9 to 5
stuff are like immediately familiar, but it's all like kind of, like the climate and the like, that part's familiar, but it's new flowers and new birds, and yeah, this is cool.
Oh no. Okay. Go ahead.
Cecil Davenport is just kind of like chuckles as he listens to Oliver kind of like rib poor Kelly, and how worried this just mountain of a man is getting over like a giant fictional animal. And then he kind of sees like Wendy like looking around with a similar amount of awe, and he kind of goes up to her and he says, in Ireland, it's nearly this green. It's a lot hotter, and I would feel a lot less dangerous than here. Yes. I see you looking at the flowers over there.
It's beautiful. The birds remind me of where I grew up, and the climate is so much more comfortable than New York in the winter. but
No,
I have
I
a hard
can.
time imagining this much green anymore.
What is the fondest thing you remember from your childhood?
Oh, that's all family things. I remember getting together on New Year and celebrating with every member of our family for anyone on the island, and yeah, the treats and the fireworks, and back when my mom was still with us in that way.
I hear you.
When did you leave Ireland?
Just a few months ago, to be honest with you. So I feel like a regular globetrotter at this point. Um, I would compare your childhood as being very happy. I had a very happy childhood as well. It's just cold, dank old castle. Great places for playing hide and seek, however, if you're into that thing. Saoirse was always the better hider. But Christmas, I remember very fondly.
I can't even imagine where you would hide in a castle. I remember hiding behind like the person that sells mangoes. But
There's we had a basement. I mean, really just a dungeon, but not really used anymore. There's a library, small, functional, lots of books and nooks and crannies that you could get behind. Very, very mysterious place. Much like this, I've been thinking a lot. I had a dream before we left. I tried to imagine what it would be like here. I remember going through the jungle and seeing a shadowy figure that parted into two different figures, moving as if in tandem, like a mirror image. And then they started making their way toward me through the trees and the brush. A waking dream, mind you. He kind of like eyes you, as I do have.
Like twins almost, like you and your sister, that kind of.
I wish I had you around when I had this vision. That's a good insight. I do not know.
We didn't get bitten by anything in that dream, right?
Oh, I'm sorry?
We didn't get bitten by anything in that dream, right?
Oh, no, it's general sense of foreboding and that kind of whatnot.
Oh, just that.
He chuckles despite himself. I only that.
Oh,
Standard
I
ominous
am not
foreshadowing.
excited for this cave.
No, I've been thinking of the well, which is kind of what made me think of the castle. We'll be fine, I'm sure.
If you knew how to play hide and seek, then I'm sticking with you.
I'll stick with you two then. We'll be a fine team.
What's going through Oliver's mind?
Oliver is actually getting a little bit engrossed in the medical mission. Ever sort of distractible. He's been talking with the doctors and learning about the three new medicines that they have. They've got 2 antibiotics and quinine now, so medicine's really taken some great leaps forward.
Yeah, I think as you're on your expedition, there's a doctor with you, Dr. Anahai Salvatore, right? Who's perfectly happy. She's very happy to sit down and talk to you about all these new emerging medications and medical technologies that they are happy to. They think are going to make a huge difference, right? So, how do you know so much about medicine? Are you a doctor as well, Professor, or is that something? Professor, I'm having some issues hearing you over the jungle background, and you gotta just speak up.
Sorry, we'll gathering. You'll have to excuse me. No, I'm not a physician formally. I just I have sort of romantic notions of the the gentleman tinkerer of our grandparents' time, when a fellow could just sort of throw on a lab coat and mix up some tincture of laudanum and cocaine and prescribe his merry heart out.
She laughs a bit and says, those are interesting times for sure, but it's definitely, we definitely done a lot more diligence in the medical and scientific side of things at this point, and I think that's for better for everybody, right? As much as sometimes just drugs could solve problems, this is much better to address, actual issues.
It is a relief, yes.
I am not supposed to touch drugs on this trip.
Oh, you should not be carrying that medical bag then.
Well,
I'll
certainly
take that.
She's just gonna drop it right where it is, like, right in
there are
the.
safe drugs in there.
They're medical drugs, yeah, but I can take that.
It was somewhat unclear as to whether that counts.
I expect Auntie won't make too fine a distinction there. Better safe than sorry.
There is a gunshot that rings out. And you see up ahead in the kind of gathering of people, kind of, like I said, the porters and everyone kind of working their way through this like weaving line as two of the navigators are just like chopping through parts of overgrowth, right? There's some path, but it looks like the way you've chosen to go in is the most expeditious, but also like just requires continuous maintenance on this trail that just overgrows very quickly. So they're chopping away, chop, 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 crack, this gunshot goes off, someone up front drops. And immediately you just hear people start shouting in like English and Spanish, going like, get to cover, get down, right? As like more gunshot shots start to fire off. Here we go.
I'm grabbing Wendy if she lets me and just getting down.
Yeah, no. I'm already diving for the ground and possibly like a bush. Yeah. Yep.
I'm sorry. Cecil like curses in Irish. He's like, and then like gets down behind a tree and then like sees where everybody else is and tries to like crawl his way over to where they are, thinking it might be safer.
Okay. What we're gonna do is our first cool combat, right? So, combat is based on dexterity. I'm gonna ask any integrity question, right? Did anybody have a readied firearm? I know we have firearms around. They were given out. They're in your gear, but is it like ready to go? I didn't think so. Okay. Worth asking.
No. We were warned about like
Maybe,
Warzone and
Oliver.
everything.
Not me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. No, fair question. Does anybody have a dexterity over 80? Because it's literally just going to go down the list of like dexterity. What's your
85.
Yeah, look at that. So, I'm going to make a note for this next time and just plow through it. Okay. I'm going to go down by 10s. Just raise your hand. So, like 80. Cool.
Right here.
Okay. 70. 60. 50.
I'm 65.
65. Okay. And then, what's yours, Oliver?
It is a whopping 25.
Yeah, that's right. You are much, much lower than the other thing.
I do not dodge things.
I thought for sure, like, you might have a chance. No, here we go.
Everybody else dives for the side of the trail, gets on the ground, and Oliver's sitting there still holding a bag right in the middle.
No, Oliver's like, he sort of wandered behind a tree and then is like looking out, like trying to see what's going on. You know, his face sort of illuminated in a beam of sunlight for any handy sniper nearby.
Okay. Everyone in the group, go ahead and roll a spot hidden, right? And this is a cumulative check to see how much information you can get before going into this disaster. If you get an excellent success, it's going to count as 2 successes. If you get a crit fail with 95 or higher, then 2 failures, right?
What check? I'm sorry.
Spot hit.
Excellent success.
Spot.
Just so like I got a 4.
Oh wow! Okay, that's 2 successes for the past group so far.
I'm a regular old failure.
Okay, 1 fail. Got it.
Fail.
1 fail. Got it. Uh-oh.
Carrying the team here.
Oh, just a regular fail.
Oh,
Not much.
oh no. Okay. Oh no. All right.
Only to make things more interesting.
I'm gonna roll 1 for the doctor that Will was talking to because she has stats. So.
Oh, great. Maybe she can help.
Yeah. Let's take a look. See.
I only talk with the finest NPCs. They have stats.
Okay.
Do you have stats? No.
Stat us.
Stats?
You have status. Oh, that's good. Okay, cool. It's a solid 3-3. So Wendy, make a luck check, and then we will get into it. Since you're up first.
Okay. All right. Well, the nice part about that is I have a lot of luck. Let's see what we do. Okay, I rolled under my luck, not by much, but I did.
That's all you need. So what you can see is you have this thick forest ahead of you. The trail's been kind of like cut a little bit by machetes. You can see as it winds, there's a river ahead of you. And when I say river, I mean small creek, not large Amazonian thing, right? It's this thing you could probably splash through up to your waist tops. It's about 10 feet wide. So across the river, the terrain curves upward, and there's a small, looks like a cliff or like a little jut out that overlooks this river. It's a nice scenic vantage point. And you catch the glint of a rifle scope from up there, and you can see movement. And now as things are starting to kick off and like more of these shots are raining down on the group, you can clearly see there are people up there like with guns firing down at you. Taking advantage of their elevated status, right? So, with that said, Wendy, you're up first. The porters, the doctors, everyone else just dives for cover. You can see backpacks flying off, people rolling behind trees, rocks, into ditches, just grabbing whatever they can in terms of some type of safety, right? You have guns available, right? So they are around, is what I'm saying. You have to like take a full action to rip open a crate and like load stuff. People.
I was gonna say it's like in the bottom of the duffel bag, shoved in between a bunch of things. So like the bullets are separate in their own box and they haven't been opened yet because
combat
so
ends. Like
the first thing she's gonna do is, since we have like an idea of where this is coming from, I know like Kelly is right with me, so I'm gonna like shove his body towards like leafier, like further off the trail and harder to see. And if Cecil's in the same vicinity, do the same, like shove that way, and maybe like try and grab Oliver's pant leg or something, and be like, "No, moron, this way!" Like, get out of the open.
Okay.
No,
And
I'm
like
gonna
underneath
say
my
Oliver.
breath, just going like shit.
Yeah, I'm going to say Oliver's out of reach.
It is a little far away.
Then maybe we're just like fumbling for the pant leg. Like, come on, get down.
Go ahead and roll dexterity or dodge as you were helping people kind of like seek better cover, right? It's going to make a difference as to whether or not they're safer.
So since dodge is half dexterity, is there any particular reason why I want to roll that one?
Unless you could have put a crazy amount of points into dodge and
I did not.
blown it through the roof.
Let's roll dex. Regular success.
Okay, cool. The next shot's gonna have disadvantage without people having to like hide for cover. Very nice. Anything else for Wendy as you kind of dodge and like get people settled in?
It's like if we're getting into covered area, that's kind of her first priority, because once again, the gun is like in the middle of my duffel bag, shoved in between pairs of socks, and like we didn't really want to touch it.
Got it. Too easy. So next shot, you see that up on that cliff again, you see like the glint of that scope, and I'm gonna roll a d. I'm gonna go for Oliver because that seems like the right move in terms of things, but I will roll disadvantage because you are desperately trying to get everyone behind something Nice and solid. Okay, a shot rings out. Oliver, as you are moving to cover where your head was just a second ago, a large chunk of tree just explodes, hitting your face with like debris and like very sharp wood. Very, very lucky there.
Bloody ow.
Yeah. So that stings a bit, but it definitely could have been a lot worse. Cecil, you're up.
Hey, they're shooting at us. Duck.
Way ahead of you.
Shooting at you.
So Wendy saw the glint on the hill collectively, did we?
Yes.
Because everybody. Oh, great, fantastic.
That is information for the party to use.
That's fantastic news. So Cecil like moves his rifle up over his shoulder, and he like kind of gets down, and he tries to look up at the glint and kind of like starts looking through a scope. Is there any way I could hit one of those people from down here?
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll to shoot.
Great.
So-
He says he's like, everybody, Wendy, you might want to cover your ears. And then he's just like, just pretend it's a buck. All right.
Heck, I think one of them just like watching everyone scatter and like dive down and with no response back from the group immediately. I think one of them gets a little cocky and is like half standing behind like a boulder and just like firing down. So you have a great target.
Okay, he's like, cocksure are ya? And then he's like, finds like the body mass, and then like starts aiming upward and gives it a little pull. That is a regular success.
That'll do
with
it.
my rifle.
Excuse me.
And
He's currently not dodging, so go ahead and roll damage.
Great. That is a 14. So rifle doesn't have any extra damage, right?
Nope. 14 is a lot of damage though.
Alrighty. So it's just like, take that. Arr.
You see this dude, and he's look, he's wearing just like plain garb, right? That's been kind of like just slapped on from wherever he could grab it. Firing back with his rifle, and he's got the Johnny the Captain Morgan like 1 foot up on the rock, like, and as you fire back, one of the dudes in cover leaps up and grabs him, right? Like just grabs him by the shirt and rips him down, and in the process takes a bullet to the back of the head and dies. But the gentleman with like basically he's got like a little pith hat that he's acquired is pulled back behind cover before he's taken out by one of his friends.
He has a pith helmet, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then like he just kind of like nods. He's like, got one.
Cool.
All right, next. He starts to
Wendy does not look back up. She's got her hands over the
I'm retconning a pith helmet if nobody else is.
No, do it. You absolutely. Oh, but feel free to have anytime we change venues, by the way, feel free to absolutely have a costume change. In fact, I will going into the camp. I'm going to ask you what you guys are wearing in your cool jungle expedition. But Kelly, you're up. You saw this one dude basically just dive in front of somebody else and just get taken out. Shots are still being fired.
I mean, I guess I'll do my part and grab a gun. I feel like a revolver is probably what I have, even though a rifle seems better suited.
Take a shot with a revolver. You're going to have to get a great success because they're not designed to go as far, but
Okay.
still hit. Way hard
All right,
success,
let's
rather.
try it. Haven't been rolling too good. Let's try it. No, nuts. It's not. It's a fail.
Okay. Is it close? You always burn luck.
No.
No?
It's
Okay.
51 over 20.
Oh, no.
I'm better with my fists.
Just boom, boom, boom a few times up into the air. Like, it just, you see it bounce off like a rock. One hits like short of the cliff, and you see the dirt and debris kind of just burst out of it. No dice.
Can I also just don my bracers?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, that's it.
Cool. The other two dudes up behind these rocks are gonna shoot, and that's going to be a hit. I should roll for who they're shooting though. So I'm rolling d6. You guys are 1 through 4, and there's also the potential of 5 and 6 being, people in the party just getting got.
Not the good doctor.
That's a 1 though, so that's on Ash. Correction, Kelly.
Boo.
And the second one. Okay. So shot goes off. You start firing kind of wildly with your revolver, trying to hit something. One of these guys rolls out from behind a tree and just like puts a couple shots towards you, and you take 8 points of damage
That's gonna hurt. Okay.
as you like roll behind kind of a thin tree for cover, and then like are just blasted through the tree.
Lord. Okay.
So
Sorry, I'm doing math now that I added my bracers give me some health, but we're fine.
no, you're good.
We're good.
The doctor that Oliver was speaking to also like dives for cover, and like she pokes her head up just slightly, and you see her glasses just get shot off her face. She like, puts her head back down because they missed by 1. So
Yeah.
Oliver, you're up.
Yeah. So I'm going to go over to the pack, burrow or whatever that was carrying my stuff, and unsling a shotgun and see if I can't make my way sort of up the hill a little bit.
Oh, dope. Okay. Yeah, you're able to grab this gun out. Go ahead and roll me. That sounds like something crazy. Let's see. Oh, no. Where did my example character sheet go? Should be athletics or some type of climb skill that I'm blanking on for the moment.
Okay, we can do some kind of climb skill. We could do stealth, whichever you like.
Let's go stealth. Stealth, actually, whichever's better for you. But stealth sounds like the right answer here.
Stealth is definitely not better for me, but that's okay.
Okay, go with the one that's better for you. So I had a mock character sheet out, and I closed the book on it because that was silly.
That's all right. We'll roll stealth and see what happens here. No, so I'm moving, but not stealthily.
Okay, cool. I mean, it just means that you are exposed. There we go. Okay. Yeah, you can get pretty close, though. Go ahead and take a shot. Right, as you run, kind of weave in and out of the trees, you can kind of like splash through a little bit of that water. And instead of being directly in front of this elevated position, you kind of get a 45. And you can see there are three people still standing behind cover. Fourth one's just laying on the ground. Looks like they've been shot. And you can have a pretty good shot at them.
Okay.
And like simultaneously, they all look over and see you.
Okay, so that's close enough. A 53 on 50 that I'm going to burn 3 points of luck just to make it connect.
Get it?
And then for K damage, 4d6, right?
Mm-hmm.
No modifier.
Nope. You are uncomfortably close, but you have a shotgun, so.
Let's say 13.
13? Yeah. One of the others like looks over and like almost hisses something towards the other two, right? Just like, and then like smacks the guy with the pith helmet and turns, and as he turns the gun on you, you just blast him in the face and he goes down. But the other two are very aware that you're there. The rest of the party starts shooting back, right? You have some other people who are there with security, and they start firing at this position as well. Okay. Yeah, they all just start whipping out rifles, and just the sound of gunfire just erupts through the jungle. It was bad before, and now you have about 10 people just firing back at this position and starting to coordinate a response. What that does is that gives you all advantage, right? Because they are just lighting these guys up, and they can't move around as much trying to figure out what they're doing now. Their heads are down. And you can hear some other people, like, you know, you can see some people pulling others to cover and, like, making sure that anyone that got, like, a little bit of injury are being treated. And they're like, okay, we got this. Wendy, you're up.
I'm on mute. She's gonna like rip off the duffel and start digging in for the revolver and bullets, but like grabbing them out and just leaving the duffel there and heading further into trees. Like, I'm not interested in shooting back right now. I'm just trying to get the fuck out of the way, and if somebody comes near me, then I can shoot them.
Okay.
And if like Cecil's got the rifle, he looks like he's managing himself, but I'm gonna probably tug on Kelly to bring him with me. Because you didn't hit anything.
Cool. Good move. As you start heading off towards the side, you weave your way through the trees, right? Like I said, if you can imagine, there's the high ground in front of you at the 12 o'clock position. You're in the center. Oliver's moved off to about like the 2 o'clock position. You head off to the 9, right, to kind of get a little more space. And you run face first almost into 2 more people. They're not part of your party. And they have big guns and look like they're just running up on your group trying to take advantage of the chaos. They're about 30 feet away, out in the open though, because they were just moving to try to get close. What do you do?
Did I hear the guy hiss to the other one on the hill when Oliver hit him?
No, you wouldn't be close enough for that.
Okay, damn it. Yeah, we're gonna duck behind a tree and load that revolver,
okay,
so I can attempt to hit. Well, actually, no. We're gonna duck behind a tree and get down. And we're gonna wait until they try and pass me, and then we're gonna hit them.
Cool. Okay. Oliver, you unfortunately are a great target. So the dude with the pith hat is gonna shoot at you.
At least I'm great.
Not a terribly high roll. He turns his rifle and fires at you. And you catch her round to the leg for 4 damage.
Ow, 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 ow.
And he,
bugger, ow.
And as you're there, like, he fires you and he just hisses, like, you know, die! And it's kind of creepy.
Can I make a check of my sort of occult knowledge to see what all that hissing is about?
Yeah.
I'll do it for a hard success since I was just shot. No.
God damn it, Twitch threads. Sorry, I only recently logged in and they're just saying drugs. Thanks, guys.
Negative. Nope. I just don't speak Spanish.
Nailed it. Okay. It's gone. Cecil, you're up. You can see the fire is kind of erupted from your party back at this elevated position. You can see just like debris is flying off these trees. Every time they poke their head up, like rocks are exploding as people are just trying to fight back and have them at least suppressed for the moment. You can also hear some crashing through the underbrush off to your left, which again, if you can imagine, like the conflict's directly in front of you, and you see Wendy and Kelly kind of move off to the left a bit, and then you hear some other movement there, and you don't think you have anybody in your group over on that side. What do you do?
Cecil feels like the team and security that we have kind of has like the suppression fire covered. So he starts moving to off to the left, like swiftly, like you might see a hunter do.
Okay. Yeah, you start just like moving through these trees, and you see Wendy and Kelly have kind of taken cover, and about 30 feet ahead are 2 of these guys who've just like, they got big old rifles and they're just running through the underbrush directly towards you. And it looks like they're trying to just run up on the group.
Do they seem like a part of the group on the hill?
They're dressed in that same, like, just cobbled together nonsense of clothing. They
Okay,
definitely don't look
alrighty.
like anybody you've traveled with for the last week.
Do they have guns, and are they pointed at us?
They have big old rifles. Yep.
That's all I needed to know. So he like comes up pretty nimbly, kind of like a hunter would, to the team, and like he kind of like crouches down. He like looks up, and then he like stands up and he says, "I'm giving you one warning. You can go in 3, 2. I'm warning you. 1."
They keep running at you.
Then he blasts.
Okay.
I do not have advantage, I'm assuming, because this is a different group, right?
No, you do not have advantage. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming as you guys are doing these cool back and forth things, people are also like moving in and out of cover and like doing smart things unless you deliberately say like, I'm not doing that. So you're just in a firefight with some people who are also trying to not get got too badly.
Yeah. No, I'm not standing in the open. He like goes behind cover, he yells. They don't seem to be responding. And that is a 4. So pretty damn good.
Okay, so cool. Welcome to Extreme Successes in Combat, right? What's going to happen is you're going to take your max damage and double it. Because you're using a lethal source of damage, and this is effectively a critical hit. So you just got basically
do it.
a headshot.
Fun.
Yeah.
All right. So take that, and then I double it.
Yes, and as a cautionary note, this can happen to you as well. So keep that in mind.
All right. 2d10. I'm doing math. That's 14. 21. That's 30 points of damage.
Okay. Yeah, the dude that comes at you, his buddy tries to give him some type of covering fire. He whips around this tree, runs towards you, and just, again, lets out this terrifying, like, you know, like hiss noise almost from like the back of his throat. Extreme Success, I'll give you another thing too. As he runs at you, his there's no good way to describe. His skin seems loose. Like it wasn't quite tailored correctly, and he just like is flopping towards you. And when you pull the trigger, you see like part of his like his face is just gone, right? And underneath, you can actually catch the glint of like black scales. And then it just drops to the ground dead.
He says, "Good Lord in heaven," and he like pulling cover with the rest of them. He's like, "They're not human. I don't think they're human. I don't think they're human. They had scales."
Do me a favor, make a sanity check, please.
Of course. That'll.
We found something kind of cool out.
That's really good actually. I got a 1 out of 70.
Oh yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
It's an extreme success on a sanity check. You are definitely startled and not feeling great, but no permanent lasting problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Kelly, you watch Cecil just take this one out, and he just yells, "They're not human! They've got scales or something!" What do you do? That's with the one remaining off to the side with you.
I've had a similar encounter to this before. Oh, fuck, not again. And are they like how far away are they? Can I run up?
You want to punch one? Is that what you want? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can absolutely punch one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Cool.
I would like to. Would I be able to flank with Cecil? Like, is that a thing? Maybe.
Technically, yes, but it'd be one of those combo turn things. Like if he was using his turn to set you up, yes. Otherwise.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm heading in that direction, I think, is mostly what I'm trying to set up. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna stash my revolver and use my knuckles. Where the heck is my sheet? Here we go.
His guns are cool, but these fists though. You do a lot of damage to your fists, so let's do it.
I do. Okay.
He's going to roll to, I think, fight back as you get close. So let's take a look at that.
Alright.
That's not great.
He can try.
Yeah, he's gonna try.
It's just a regular success.
Better than what he rolled, which is a 93. So he picks up his gun like he's about to get into another one of these like dodge whack-a-mole firefights back and forth, and you just like stash your revolver, I think like tuck roll, do a couple bob and weaves, like parkour off of a tree, and then like punch him in the face, which he was just not expecting. Let's be honest. So he takes this hit and attempts to fight back. Go ahead and roll damage.
I was about to say. Alright. Okay, it's 1d3 plus my damage bonus 1d4.
Mm-hmm. And then actually, so you're wearing the gloves too, so it should be an additional +1. Or the,
Is it?
The bracers. I didn't note that.
I didn't write that down.
I didn't note that, but it's a weapon like similar to brass knuckles, so you get a +1.
Okay, so roll these two together then, +1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll write that down to make sure I don't forget. Oh my god, max damage. 8 points.
Cool. I'm going to do a thing for him, because I'm going to roll con to see if he stays up. He might just go down with that hit.
Do it.
Neat. All right, so here's what happens. You rush in, you punch him. Again, same thing. Like, when you connect, his skin moves, and then about a half second later, the rest of the, like, skull moves as well. And there's a bit of a disconnect, right? As it's like, nope. Boom, you hit him, though, and his, like, head just snaps almost all the way to the left, and as he starts to go down, it makes a fist as well and tries to punch at you in, like, a very awkward, almost drunken motion from the pain. Misses you.
No.
There is a shock of kinetic energy, almost, that blasts from his extended fist, and you see a tree nearby you just splits in like, the center of it is just blown out, and it just falls backwards, right, with the blast of energy that came from him. But
Yikes.
he goes down, and just kind of like twitches a little bit. Looks like he's probably done for.
Okay.
All right.
That's probably my full turn, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good turn.
It's a good turn.
Okay, there's one more dude who's still up on the hill with Pithhack guy, so he's going to also turn at the professor, since the professor is a lovely target. How would the professor be dodging right now? Like, just describe the, like, from 15, 20 feet away, you're just being shot at.
Yeah. I'm going to have taken my shot at the one guy, and then I'm assuming we're still in sort of a fairly jungly area. So if I can, I'll kind of like roll behind a tree. Hopefully it's a big tree. I'm not sure I have the presence of mind to check something like that, but I know you hide behind trees in firefights.
Yeah,
I read about it once.
You move behind this tree and like just hear like bah, 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 bah. There's this entire like rifle magazine is just like shot at you, and like the silhouette of you is shot into this tree, but like for some reason they cannot get through to you. On again a ludicrously close but ultimately failed roll. It's your move.
Okay, I guess I'll take my chances, and actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to crouch down and, like, from sort of a prone position, roll out from behind the tree and see if I can't get this guy in the legs.
Okay. Get it.
So, with the rolling, nope.
What'd you roll? Just fail?
Yeah, it's just a failure.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, you try. There's a lot of fire still. Like, it's not great to get an angle. You try to shoot. Not much luck.
I'm going to say I roll over, but not remembering that it's a jungle. I'm like all of a sudden beset with like not fire ants or anything like really painful, but just a lot of bugs.
Yeah, it's just like, God, what is this? You know, and
It's like I'm wet, I'm covered in
Little
bugs all of a
leaf-cutter
sudden, and now it's just like, this is not what I envisioned. Crap, bang. Oh no.
the perfect shots lined up. You feel something just crawl across your neck. Yeah. The rest of the party. Okay. You guys on your team, which is really cool because I just rolled a 3 and a 7, which is just wild, right? So the rest of the group bands together and they start moving as well. Like a couple people will come up to join Oliver, one of the guides with the machete that he's like now just slung into a holster on his back, and then he has a rifle as well. And he's just like, I got you. And then like the two of you start moving, another person comes running up the other side, and they're just trying to do a flanking maneuver on the last two remaining idiots up there. The dude in the pith hat sees this, sees Oliver coming up the hill with these guides, and just goes, and turns and runs, right? The other one stays put. And you just hear it yell, "Run, master, run!" And then, of course, the guides just come up and blow this last dude away in like a quick firefight as he tries to buy his apparently master some time to flee. And the dude with the pith helmet just literally serpentines off into the jungle, trying to get clear of this in the opportunity bought for him.
How nice of him to identify us, the leader of the group, with the pith helmet. Yeah, well done.
Yeah, here to help. So, it's the pith helmet and the other 4 nameless NPCs that hang out with him. But they all have names, but we could all have. No one's having a conversation with them. The firefight subsides. Everyone has a chance to look around and take stock of what has occurred. And who has sorry. Dr. Salvatore is just saying, I need someone else with medical skills. Help me right now. And you can see her putting pressure on somebody who's just prone on the ground.
Yeah, I'm gonna sort of jog over and then remember that I've got the gunshot wound in my calf and start limping over.
Another doctor comes running over as well. As well, gather up. Everyone else has some scrapes and bruises from getting down, right? Everyone else has just these a little banged up, but okay enough, right? On the ground in front of you, Dr. Salvatore is trying desperately to apply pressure to Arturo Uncini, who's been shot in the neck, and is just rapidly dying.
Crap.
I'm shocked.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just sort of grab the nearest bag and hopefully there's.
We're following the plot, baby.
Woohoo! Hopefully there's something in it that is of use. This being a medical expedition.
Absolutely, there's plenty of stuff. I'm gonna make. Go ahead and roll whoever wants to roll medicine, right? And we'll see if this can actually come together. I'm gonna roll twice for the doctors in the party, and see if this actually works. Okay.
Yeah, my medicine is 1, so no.
Yeah, I'm looking at mine right now, and I'm like, I don't know if I can help, but
Okay.
would
I don't want to get a critical failure is what I don't want to do.
I mean, look, what's the worst thing that happen? He's gonna die, right?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, no, that's a 66.
Poking the hole will help, right?
Yeah. So, his lordship like gets close, and he realizes he's like, he just knows nothing about medicine. He's like, I probably should have brought Saoirse. And like he sits down, and I want to try and see if I can use hypnosis to help somehow.
Oh, fascinating. Yeah, go ahead and roll.
To like keep him with us, essentially.
Okay.
Help him focus. So he kind of like, not getting in the way of any of the doctor's attempts or anything like that. Cecil kind of like sits down with Arturo, and he's like, Arturo, you're a very brave soul, and all I need you to do is just hang on just a little bit longer. Just look into my eyes and just promise me you can stay with me. Just listen to my voice. And like, as he does that, anybody looking a little bit more closely would notice that the brooch that he usually wears, not the pendant, is like this weird kind of periwinkle, kind of like blue opal, and his eyes kind of shine a little bit and like almost matching the shimmer of it as he does that. And I'll roll. Okay. That's a hard success.
Cool. There's a moment where you start this hypnosis, and then everything just like just stops around you, and you can see like the doctors are still like, you know, Dr. Salvatore is still working desperately to try to figure out something, but she looks grimly resolved to this kind of fate. The other doctors are pulling out supplies as well, but like, we're there to treat, you know, some maybe malnourishment or like a couple injuries from people getting hit with shrapnel, not for a substantial gunshot to the neck, right? There's just a level of medical care they can't really work with. And Arturo is like kind of just stands next to you in like a faded blue kind of way, looking at you, Cecil, and he says, well, I see that this trip has gone poorly.
It has, but you can stay with us. There's no reason for you to leave. The doctors are working very hard to keep you with us, but you have to want to stay.
I would like to do that very much. I don't know if I can. Will you do something for me, Cecil?
I would do anything for you. Yes, lad, what is it?
Would you please go talk to Isabella and Sophie, my wife and daughter, and just let them know the good things that happened here.
I would absolutely do that, and where can I find them?
They live. He gives you an address in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
It says, I would be. Thank you for doing that.
You're welcome. Is there anything else?
He looks down at Dr. Salvatore, and he says, If you could let Dr. Salvatore know that she has done her best, and I hold no resentment towards her, that would be great as well.
I will let her know. I am so sorry, my friend. We had so much to learn from you.
It was a pleasure. And he goes to like shake your ethereal hand. And two of you shake hands, and you just see him slowly like fade away.
Mean.
Yeah.
Mean.
You were in love with him.
I shouldn't say anything about any NPCs that I like going forward.
If it makes you feel better, this was kind of supposed to happen. So, look, there are plenty more NPCs that you can fall in love with and then can be murdered brutally throughout the entire game. As a whole, we got a whole book. Got a whole book.
Evil.
You described him as tan Nick Moranis.
Cecil kind of like shakes his head and like wipes his face, wipes his eyes, and he looks to see if Dr. Salvatore is still working.
There's a point where she looks at our Dr. Uncini and she just shakes her head and looks at the other doctor and goes, "There's nothing. There's nothing we can do. We can't treat something like this out here. There's."
Doctor,
we're gonna have to take him to the camp. At least they can. The next group can come and get. Yes.
And he like kind of like slowly puts like a gentle hand like on her shoulder, and he's like, Doctor, Arturo wanted me to say that he thanks you for everything that you did, and he holds no ill will, and not to worry about it. The spirit has fled, but it's at peace.
Well, charm.
Yes. You're that's a hard success.
Okay. You clearly have removed a weight from her shoulders, right? She stands a little taller after you say that, and still just looks heartbroken at the events, but doesn't seem to be beating herself up as much about the results, right? And just says, thanks, that's, that helps a lot, right? It's a nice thought to have going forward.
It is. It's true.
And one of the expedition leaders says, "Look, we can't stay here. They might come back. If we gotta get to camp. There are soldiers there who can help us out. They should be able to meet us a little closer to the area, but we cannot stay here, or we're gonna run the risk of getting into another fight like that and losing more people." So,
has anyone checked any of the bodies of the fallen?
Look, we're moving in 5 minutes. Do what you got to do, and then we got to go. So,
Kelly, they were not human. I swear it.
You can check.
Yeah,
bodies.
What did you see, Cecil?
Just come. Well, let's look at one. This one I knocked out. Let's take a look. You guys can see what I saw in the fucking warehouse.
Yeah, Wendy's gonna walk over to it and like kick it in the ribs.
It's weird. So these things, as they have died, they have kind of like a crumpled, almost like they don't lay right, if you will. It's almost that weird like video game physics where the body's just like on the ground, but in like a crazy pile that doesn't make any sense for anatomy.
Just ragdoll.
Yeah, just a ragdoll physics of these things that they have like plopped down onto the ground. Some of them, through their like various gunshot wounds, have this shimmer of like black, almost scale-like skin underneath of their human flesh. Right? Let's talk about this for a second.
Were they bleeding? Like, is there?
As you look a little closer, they are bleeding. It is a weird, like dark, reddish black blood. It's definitely not human. We can go there for immediately, right? Go ahead. Anyone who's looking at this, make a sanity check, please, because this is incredible.
I was going to say, I wanted to say, if Wendy is intent on looking at this, he says, maybe not this time, lass.
Cecil does not have to make a sanity check because you already made one.
Hell yeah, I got a 12.
Is that okay? Cool.
Success.
Nice. 28, and my sanity is 70. So
Okay.
that's
Good.
not an excellent, but a good.
Good. Yep. You are you are muted, Will.
Apologies. 26 on 54. I'm fine.
Oh yeah. So definitely a disturbing situation, right? But no one takes any truly mental damage from it. Kelly, it's also worth noting the tree that exploded behind you, right? I don't know how you feel about that, but that was kind of like a cool, sweet power fist of explosion. It definitely wasn't a weapon of any type.
Yeah, I'll if no one else saw that, I'll kind of describe it and then maybe take a look at the tree and just see like was it blunt force impact? Was it like a sweeping cut? Like how's it look?
You know how like cannonballs hit things and they explode? That's kind of the physics here, where it was just like a cannonball of air or force or something that just blasted this tree out in the center, and then it just collapsed under its own weight.
Sick. Love to hear that.
Right? That's cool. Should be fine.
Can you
Terrifying. Listen.
Magic's
In the
a hell of a
couple
drug.
minutes, in the couple of minutes that we have, can I take a look and see if there's anything among these individuals' effects that looks something other than what a South American peasant would possess?
Go ahead and roll luck.
If I could get my character sheet to come back up. Just straight luck. Nope.
All right. Nothing. Yeah, they have their guns, and they just have like basic equipment, right? Like backpacks and water, just stuff that they would need to survive in the jungle, but nothing that really blows your mind. It's possible if anybody had anything of value, it would be the dude who was in charge, and he rolled out. Right.
Yeah, if we kill him, I want to wear his helmet.
That's not where I thought that statement was going. I was like, oh, she's gonna wear her skin. Like, yeah, we're getting into it now. Session
my
1,
God.
Call of Cthulhu, getting crazy. Helmet makes a lot more sense. I was just filling in the blanks. We'll get there. We'll get there.
She's got the jungle madness already.
Right?
They killed Arturo.
They did. We must avenge Arturo.
So.
For Isabella and Sophie.
Cecil turns to says,
Right.
Arturo's last words were to avenge him. No, he didn't say anything else.
If you could win the campaign for me, I would be very appreciative.
How dare you say that in his voice? How dare you?
He was a real person. Cecil just kind of like looks around and he like thinks to his time hunting and on the Irish countryside. And he's like, I feel like is there anything we're missing? So he just does like a quick scan to see if there's anything else amiss.
There is, so just so you're all tracking, that one I'll call them snake people, why not, right? That one snake person that Kelly punched in the face is still like shallowly breathing, right? So as you're kind of like assessing, there's nothing else really. It's just a impromptu ambush that they took advantage of the high ground to do some damage, but that one dude is still alive.
I was assuming that was the one that I kicked in the ribs, so
It is.
now I'm kind of happy about that.
Like
also
the long snake tongue as you kicked it, like it just flops out of its mouth.
Hold everyone. That one's still alive.
I'll just kind of stand over it with my foot on its chest and or neck, just like keeping it down, make sure it doesn't go anywhere.
See if you can't get anything out of it. I mean, not bloods and bones, of course, but the thing where you're scary, if you recall.
Yeah, all right. What are we trying to learn? Anything?
Why they were shooting at us?
We could figure out where they came from.
Something
That's
about the
also
master.
All right. I'm gonna intimidate the heck out of this guy. I did almost just punch his head off, so hopefully that.
It's a pretty good
helps.
punch. How do you wake it? How do you wake it up? Like this?
I'll do the good old like boxer kind of slap, like my opponent that took one on the chin and kind of like got knocked out. Just kind of like straddle his chest essentially and grab him by the collar and just kind of like, hey.
Cool.
Wake up.
Yeah, he comes to and he's just like, looks at like you as are two different sizes. You can see he reaches up and grabs his face and like realigns it with the eye holes and everything because it was starting to droop off to the side. And just
I've got his arms pinned. They don't.
Oh, okay. Then like you just see like one eye out of like the face mask that it's wearing, the other one's like all centered somewhere as he's kind of drooping, and he just goes, "Release me."
Nah, it's not gonna happen. But you're gonna tell me where the fuck you came from. Oh, buddy, how good of a success is that?
I'm gonna roll
That's
disadvantage.
a great success.
Oh man. Yeah, he super fails.
Tell me the business.
He spills the beans.
Business is booming.
Boo.
Right. That was a good artillery joke. He gets it. Yeah.
Rude.
All right. So, what's your first question? Tell me.
Where he came from? Where the fuck did he come from?
It says, he struggles a bit, realizes that he's drastically outnumbered and in a terrible situation. Decides very quickly to just go, okay, I will tell you whatever you want, and then you have to promise to let me go.
Sure.
Okay, I believe you.
Wendy doesn't.
I don't even believe
No
it.
one should.
So,
A
I'm
map. I need someone to get a map so we can point out where they're hiding.
says, my people are all throughout the jungle. But
No.
We are here for the dreamer.
Oh fuck.
We are here to rescue her.
Where?
Her.
From, and he like looks over at some of the crates that are being ported into this aid camp, and he says, "From them, from you, from Caduceus." You can't have her. She needs to be free.
Tell us more about her.
She is the great bridge between the future. She will make the world into the one that we will rule, and we will she will grant our wishes. She will be so happy that we released her. She will give us what we ask. Dude seems crazy as hell, but is driven.
Where is she? Now.
She's asleep.
I didn't ask
That makes
how she is. I asked where she is.
We need to find her. We need to find her. She's in the jungle. We will find her. We will follow the clues that were left.
Clues.
Wendy's gonna like elbow Kelly a little bit and be like, find out how they wake her up so we don't do that.
How do you intend to save and wake up the dreamer?
He looks honestly unsure. Like he has not thought this far into the plan. And he just goes, the master knows. We do as the master says, and we will win. We will succeed.
Well, I'm sure you believed that before this moment, but you see where you are now? The master also got you here.
He'll come back for me.
Under me.
Really?
Really? Do we need anything else from this guy?
Cecil says,
Or can I let him go?
well, before you let him go, I suppose we need to know where the master is, so we stay out of his way.
Show us on this map.
Yeah, Wendy will have taken it out.
Wendy
of
has a map
in
that's
their
as
pocket
big as she is.
Yeah. She's like, oh wow. He looks at the map and just honestly shrugs, like, he keeps moving. He's smart. I don't know.
Smarter than you.
He's real smart,
That's why
isn't he?
he's the master. If I was smart, I would be the master.
Yeah, not getting that impression.
From a snake person.
Very self-aware snake person.
All right.
Cecil
Well,
kind of nods.
I'm gonna let you go then, and I just hit him as hard as I can to try and put him out.
Okay, yeah, you can put him out again. He's just like,
Yeah.
you say, I'm gonna let you go, and he goes, thanks. And just gets punched in the face. He's just thinking he's gonna get up and walk away, and you just cold cock him into the dirt.
Absolutely.
And he's just again, that tongue just flops out. A couple ants start crawling on him.
Yeah, we'll leave him for the pests, or unless some of these doctors want to take a look. That's me.
And you hear that the expedition leader is like, okay, let's go. We gotta move. Time's up. Get your shit.
Are we bringing him?
Bringing who?
Get my shit.
The what? The rebels? No, we're not bringing any rebels with us. Take their shit. Let's go.
Oh yeah, does he have anything on him?
No. Get
Heck.
a rifle.
All right.
Okay, I'll take the rifle.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
stuff
Don't
is
leave
much,
him with any guns.
Your stuff is much nicer. But yeah, you take their equipment. That's too easy. And the expedition kind of pushes forward. There's
Wendy just didn't have a gun prepared, and now she's like, well, shit. So,
well, now you have a slime rifle. So.
Yay! Yeah.
gone from 0 guns to 2 guns.
Like a musket.
Zero guns, slime rifle guns.
As soon as I shoot it, I'm gonna fall over. It'll be fine.
That's the move on a crit fail. You just get blown backwards, down a set of steps or something. But okay, so you pack up the stuff. There's a more kind of tactical and somber feel, right, as people start moving through the jungle again. More of the
Oh! Before we leave the dude, I'm gonna tie his shoelaces together.
Okay.
Like we can rip up
Amazing.
his clothing or whatever, but make it just inconvenient where he's gonna at least get
Love it. Yeah, you got to move out. The navigators spread out more. They actually start putting soldiers out on the flanks, right? Because again, you weren't expecting to get into a fight here. The fighting's north. You're basically heading from south to north. You're going to stop way before you get to any of this, any of the skirmishes, right? Because you're just in a village that was messed up weeks prior, and then the fight had moved on. So they're now taking this very seriously, though, and they put people out. And the rest of the trip is... That sucks, let's be honest, right? No one's in a good mood after that. After a little while, you come out into a clearing where you can see an aid camp has been established, right? There are just very, very neat rows of white medical tents with the Caduceus logo on them. You count 8 just lined up and set in rows of 2, right? You can't see like a large canvas mess hall. You can kind of hear people like talking and laughing. You can see like supply crates have been set up there. Look around, there's like a small laundry area, a small toilet and shower area. There's a large hospital tent itself that's been set up for people to be treated. All kind of in the center of this camp. And then on the top portion, if you can imagine to like the 2 o'clock position, is a row of 6 more tactical looking soldier tents, right? They have that big, heavy, like gray, black, and green canvas, and you can see about 20 soldiers just like milling around in the area outside of these camps. You know, have like a little fire going. Some of them smoking cigarettes. They've all got guns out. As you get close, there are a couple soldiers who stop you, and they end up talking to the expedition leaders, who are like, "Hey, you know, this is who we are. We're Caduceus." They like look at all of you and they nod, and let you into the camp. And you can see there's soldiers kind of dotted around in the jungle, keeping the camp secured, right? While the rest are in the center, just kind of smoking and joking and not on shift. You kind of get yourself situated in this aid camp. You can count maybe 40 soldiers total, another 30 aid workers plus the dozen plus individuals you brought with you. The porters are planning to stay the night in the camp and then head back the next day. That is their move. So as you get situated, excuse me, one of the people, a gentleman with like, where'd he go? Sorry. Too many things are happening with this combat to not combat. We're going to wrap shortly. Also. Okay, so Dr. Rafael Gomez comes walking up, right? He is in just khakis and a green button-up. He's got a very wide-brim hat on to kind of block out the sun. He's wearing a pair of sunglasses, and he says, "Hey, it's nice to meet all of you. I'm Raphael. I'm basically the head doctor in this camp, right? I want to get you guys situated. First of all, thank you for making this journey out here. Thank you for bringing these supplies. Give me 2 minutes with the rest of these guys. I'll get them situated, and then we can talk, okay?"
Thank you. Thank you so much. And we do have some injured here. Like, kind of like gestures to poor Oliver.
Oh.
And yeah, this mountain of a man as well.
Oh wow! You know what? We can do this. We can do this in the medical tent. So, you all follow me. And he starts speaking Spanish to the porters, and he's just like, "Hey, you know, put that there, put that there. Okay, doctors, you go over here. If you're an engineer, here's where you're staying." Gets everyone sorted very quickly, and then 5 minutes later, you're sitting in the medical tent, and he's in there, and he says, "Okay, let's do some quick introductions, but also who's shot where? Like, who's hurt where? What happened?"
I'm hitting the left calf. I've been walking on it all day. I think it's just a graze.
All right. What about you, big guy?
I don't know. I got hit somewhere. You legit didn't tell me, so I took 8 damage. I don't know where it hit me.
Oh, I think you got shot in the shoulder. So,
okay.
So he goes, "Okay, let me get to work on that." And he and another doctor start stitching you guys up.
What kind of eyes does he have?
He has green eyes that are filled with concern, right?
Can I keep that bullet when you dig it out of me? It's a little keepsake.
Yeah, you can do whatever.
Never been shot before.
You can do whatever you want with it. All
right.
Do you need morphine? Do you hurt right now?
Nah, I'm pretty good.
Okay. Take a deep breath. and proceeds to like pull a bullet out of like the meaty part of the back of your shoulder. It stings. Right.
That hurts.
Drops it off on a little bowl on the table. Starts stitching you up. You gain back 4 hit points. Right.
Cool.
You're getting some medical attention.
Wendy's not trying to be creepy, but she's watching the like wound stitching up just to be like, I'm clearly gonna need this more than I thought I was going to.
Same thing for Oliver as you get situated. You get back 3 points, right? Which I think covers the whole wound. Your leg gets like stitched, wrapped, and Raphael says, "Hey, don't just stay off your leg as much as you can, right? I get it, you got stuff to do, but I put it in a splint so you can move around if need be."
Sounds good.
So, but what I want to do is get you guys a chance to get situated, get some food from the mess hall. A spliff. Drugs? Of course, drugs. So, you guys are able to go to the mess hall, get situated, get food, right? And I think this is where we're gonna end the session, right? Let's do this. Here's the big thing. What do you do with Arturo? Right. I think
Cry
Raphael
a lot.
Raphael says, "So is it just you two, or is there anybody else that got badly hurt?" What do we?
Unfortunately, one of our own, Dr. Arturo, unfortunately passed, and we may have to at least have something small, ceremonial for him.
I think that's...
Unless you can work any other miracles. Like, laughs bitterly.
No, I'm. That's incredibly unfortunate. I am so sorry to hear that. I've heard. Go ahead, make a psychology check.
Yeah.
Anybody else who wants to can as well.
Not a...
Nope. And actually, that's 100. So, yay me.
I told you to stay off that leg until I fully splint it. Stop walking around.
Sorry.
Sit down.
Sorry. Sitting. Scorpion.
Yeah. Instead of doing psychology, Cecil just starts kind of like staring into nothing, like off, as if like he's staring through the tent wall.
Okay. Raphael says, I'm sorry to hear that we lost somebody coming down here. It's such a tragedy, like trying to prevent all the loss that's already happened and losing another person is just hard. We can do something tonight, right? Kind of gather at the camp, do a quick ceremony for whoever's available, and get that taken care of. When the porters head out tomorrow, I think they'll be able to take Arturo back with them. We'll get him back to New York.
Arturo said that he'd been working at least the village before, right? So would he have been through the camp?
Mm-hmm.
So they know him.
So, yeah.
Yeah. If you,
but he's
Doctor...
pretending like for some reason, it just doesn't seem to register with Raphael.
Does he
Dr.
seem...
Unseening.
Go ahead, sorry.
But maybe you didn't know him as Arturo? Would any of the rest of the camp want to say something?
We have new doctors coming in and out all the time. Dr. Unsini, I'm sorry for your loss. I just don't... We've never had the pleasure of meeting, I guess.
Okay.
It's all right. I know we have brought in new supplies, and we thank you for allowing us to do something simple, something ceremonial. But do you have any whiskey for a wake like?
He says, well, I don't. But you can go talk to Sergio down in the nurse's tent. He's got what he refers to as a homebrew. It's pretty good.
Right you are. Thank you so much for the information. Out of character, does Raphael just seem in shock from being here for so long and like dealing with this?
It's hard to get a read on him, right? Because everybody failed psychology. Yeah, like
I didn't roll it, but I have 14, so I don't think I would have.
You're welcome to.
Yeah. Yeah, 92. So no, that would be a no.
So fair enough. Yeah, like you mentioned this doctor's name. You mentioned Arturo Uncini, who has worked down in South America a lot and has been down to, if not this camp, has worked in relief camps before, right? So maybe he just doesn't know him. It's a possibility, but I don't know. Definitely weird.
Yeah. If we are gonna like ceremonial thing, Wendy will ask other people if they know him.
Okay.
Then, because that's weird that he didn't, or at least it's, he said he worked down here. So.
Cool. Yeah, you ask around the camp. There's a couple people that you run into. There are. Nobody off the top of their head recognizes Dr. Uncini's name. Okay, as you ask around. They're all very sad to hear that someone got killed coming in, but like don't seem to know who he is. Talk to Sergio, right? Who he's out back in the nurse's tent and has basically made a still down there. And you come around. I'm going to make it easy. Like, you don't have to introduce yourself to every single person you run into, right? You're going to get a quick, like, hey, everybody, these new people in camp. Okay, everyone break. And then it's like, oh, hey, you're the new guys. Cool, right? Because there's no reason to introduce yourself 10 times to the whole camp.
We might fall in love with another NPC and then lose them.
That's inevitable.
And Sergio of the Hooch seems like a likely candidate for that. Let's be real.
So Sergio Lorenzi is his name, and he's like, "Oh, hey, what's up? You're the guys. Yeah, you're the new guys, right? You came in earlier. Okay, yeah." And he's like pouring out some moonshine into like a bottle that he's made. And he's like, "So, welcome to Bolivia, I guess."
Thank you kindly. You didn't happen to know Dr. Arturo Uncini, did you?
Dr. Uncini? Yeah, good guy. Good guy. I ran into him in New York a couple times.
New
Yorker.
Oh, yeah,
we
Brooklyn.
do get
we have terrible news for you. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, Arturo was one of the casualties as we were attacked by strange men as we came in.
Oh, shit.
You're hoping perhaps we could gather a couple of people to say some kind words and then have a proper wake, which is one of the other reasons we were directed to your tent for moonshine.
I think I can. Yeah, I think I can try and hustle some people up. Give me a minute. And he goes around and he collects up about 15 people, right? He seems to be the only one who like really knows Arturo. Everyone else is like, oh, it is very tragic that somebody got hurt. Dr. Salvatore comes out there as well. Raphael comes out for this wake that you have. Some of the Bolivian soldiers kind of wander over, more so for the let's face it, yeah, for the alcohol than the actual ceremony. But as it kind of gets dark and there's a fire going, Sergio pours out a bunch of this moonshine, hands you all glasses, and says, all right, who wants to go first? Tell you what, we'll do it this way. We're gonna go New York style. All right, and he just says, "Drink," just takes a shot of this moonshine, refills everyone's glasses, and says, "All right, now that we're loosened up, who's gonna go first?"
I suppose I'll go. I was one of the last to speak to him. Toro seemed like a very good father, a good husband. He loved his work. He was passionate about it. And he loved to travel. He has folks waiting for his family, waiting for him back in Brooklyn. Probably some of the kindest eyes that I've seen. We will miss you, and I will carry your message for you to your loved ones. I promise you that. Drink.
Cheers to that. Drinks. All right, I'll go.
Wendy's not actually drinking the moonshine. She's pretty sure this qualifies as like meddling with drugs now. So
Moonshine equals drugs. Yep.
yeah, it's like every time somebody drinks, she's gonna like re-pour it into Oliver's.
Oh, well, thank you.
Sergio just says,
That's what I need is blood thinner.
medically speaking, that's probably fine. Again, I cannot, I've said this
It's anesthetic.
at least twice now on this stream. I'm not a doctor or a medical professional in any way. Please do not take medical advice from me. Okay, moving on. Just as a disclaimer. Sergio says, I worked with Arturo a couple times up in New York, and he's a good guy. Very, very insightful. Always tell a good story, right? And I was sad that I had to, kind of part ways with him a little while ago, just because that's life, right? Would have been a great reunion if he came out here, but, well, I guess he did, but not in the right way. I don't know. Cheers to Arturo, and, takes a shot.
Arturo seemed like a font of knowledge about the local history, mythology, culture. It's a shame that he won't be able to help our expedition with that knowledge. Only got to know him a brief time on the ship on the way down, but I already feel the loss.
Drink.
Wendy, stop it.
Put my glass as an
I was gonna say,
interception.
now we're gonna tilt it to the other side.
Dr. Salvatore, she just says, Arturo was a phenomenal coworker, and I guess, Cecil, you said something very kind, which was just that he wouldn't hold any ill will against me or anybody who couldn't help save him, and I think that speaks a lot to his character, and it's just how he was. He loved everyone, and this is going to be... Go ahead and drink. And she just drinks. Has a little, her eyes get a little misty-eyed, right? Sergio goes, all right, who hasn't, oh, man, that's... that's good stuff. Yay me for making...
It tastes very fresh. Thank you.
Yeah, wow. I'm starting to see double. Who else has to go? Wendy, you got anything?
I already spoke.
Oh, did you? Okay. Woo.
Nice.
Fuck, let's just one more. Cheers to Arturo, right?
Toro.
Cheers to Arturo.
He drinks it down. And as everyone kind of sits around the fire and one by one, people have a chance to meet, to catch up, to talk, and there's a nurse out there named Elena, right? She's like pretty strong features. She's got like bigger shoulders, and like these dark brown eyes that look incredibly unfocused, and like not lost but unfocused and suspicious. And she walks over as people are breaking off into their side conversation. She walks over to to Wendy, and she just stares at you with these big brown eyes, with her like drink that she's been holding, and she's swaying a little bit because she's been just like keeping pace almost shot for shot, and probably then some with this moonshine, and just like is staring at you aggressively from about 5 or less feet away. She just reaches out to like slowly touch your face.
Yeah, Wendy's gonna like lean back, take a big old step back, and then like step to the side. Like we're not even going to acknowledge this. Like it's clearly the moonshine. Like and yeah, nope. Mm-mm.
Make a spot hidden, please.
Okay. Yeah, okay. No, 94. No.
Okay. The apparent thing that you see is that she has just she has like very bruised in her elbows, right on the like where the veins would be, right? Those are just like bruising all around there from potentially needles or something, right? Just some type of self-given medication, and a lot of it. And she just says, as she reaches towards your face and you step back, she just says, "You're not one of them, are you?"
Wendy's gonna like reach up to her face and like poke her cheek a little bit. Like this is enough to like it's not slipping around kind of a thing. But I'm still like now I'm a good 8-10 feet away and slowly inching backward.
She's like following you still. She's like, because they're everywhere, and if you're new in camp, you could be here to save us, or you could be here to not save us and turn us into more of those things.
Turn at this point I'm like actively being like, shit, where is one of the other people that I know?
Can we see this at all?
Yeah,
I imagine everyone else is like, I imagine people are out there talking to like Dr. Salvatore. Raphael's out there still. Sergio is like just hammered at this point on moonshine. And Raphael's like, hey, you have to work in the morning. He's like, I got it. I have it under control. We call this a Brooklyn bender. It's just a Tuesday. We're good, man. But in between all of that, you can see Wendy and Elena kind of just off to the side. Wendy being like, ah, and Elena just like aggressively shuffling towards her almost.
I'm going to try and get over there and get in between the two.
Yeah, I'm not like actively waving at people, but I'm like raising my eyebrows. And
I know the look.
Mm-hmm. Cecil makes his way over and like kind of like nods to Oliver.
Oh yes.
Some aggressive lady over there. I'm gonna let Kelly take the lead on this. I think he got
go sort that out.
Yeah, I'm intercepting.
I just want to know.
A very gentle arm to just kind of okay, all right.
I just want to know.
No, I
just need to know. Are you here to help us? Are you here to help? Are you here to help? You're here to help, right?
We're here to help Caduceus. Yes.
You can kind of like startle her as you come up, and she downs the rest of her drink, puts it down, and then turns to like Kelly's face and just like casually reaches or like carefully like reaches towards your face as well.
She can touch my face. That's fine.
And does like very gently like puts her hands on your cheek and like kind of squeezes a bit and like moves your skin around. Yeah, it's and like just like a little bit of a tug, nothing painful, and then like visibly relaxes at that and just says,
"See?
What do you mean turn?
Turn
What now?
who?
What do you mean turn?
Like in the warehouse.
they're
Right, Kelly?
they're just they're wearing people like coats.
Do they start out as people?
I don't
People you know?
I don't know. I just and she starts like sobbing in relief at the fact that like you're just your skin is right.
I'm gonna just slowly guide her back to the medical tent and just advise whoever is on staff that she needs a little extra attention and maybe some eyes on her.
I'm gonna roll psychology just to sort of see if I can bring some sense back to her.
Go for it.
And I do, and I believe a 20 is that's a hard success.
Hell yeah. Admin note: make sure you're marking your successes as you get them. I think there are couple cool successes with firearms and charms, so like mark those. Mark that success and. As take it to the nurse. The nurse tent talks her down. She gets like a little cot off to like a enclosed area, and there's like an area where like you can kind of talk to her as this is going down. Right? What does the professor say to Elena?
We also encountered the phenomenon that you described, both in the jungle on the way here and also in New York before we left. We are here to figure out what's going on and hopefully stop it. And anything that you can do to help us that goal would be greatly appreciated. But do take your time. You have to be gentle when holding thoughts like this. They can become quite fragile and crack and cut you.
She says, "Okay, I would like to."
Oh, actually, you know what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
I'm going to say, don't try and speak. Write it down and hand her my pen.
Cool. She goes to write this stuff out.
How are the other nurses like are they trying to like shut her up, or is this like we see this every day, or
the other nurses are executing medical functions, right? You can hear like some go ahead and roll listen.
86. No.
You can hear some murmuring back and forth about like, stress and trauma, about like just being down here and how it's starting to get to people, and how that's kind of rough, and maybe.
But they're not being like, oh, it's Elena again, or.
No.
Okay.
But they're talking like, maybe if we could talk to Dr. Gomez Rafael, right, and maybe Elena might need to take some time away. That kind of stuff, right? Nothing too sinister. Elena says to the professor, "Okay, I'll try to remember, and I'll write." And she starts writing, and then everyone in the camp, though, as this is kind of breaking out, and for Kelly and Cecil, go ahead and make a spot hidden, since the two of you are just kind of around as well. Look at some different stuff.
Yay, regular success.
Regular type.
Fail.
Okay. Kelly, sorry, Cecil and Wendy, both of you in the darkness of the jungle around hear something moving out in the brush, right? And you catch from the moonlight what looks like the silhouette of a large dog. Just moving out in the darkness. Everyone in camp hears one, and then two, and then maybe more than half of a dozen howls that go off around the same time. But they're messed up because it goes, and it's almost like there's a weird grinding noise in the middle of it. And immediately, like, people jump up and grab weapons and go, what was that?
But is that native wildlife? Is it?
Like, Dr. Gomez comes like out with a revolver and like half of his face shaved and is like, nope, that's not normal. And
Oh dear.
We'll call session here as the camp is like starting to come to life and figure out what the heck that noise is. So, for those of you at home who
player me is like South American wolves are like maned wolf, and that's not making this noise.
Yep.
Like, they don't live here.
That's probably not right. But thank you for watching. This is the first episode. Had a great time kind of getting into the vibe, getting into the rhythm. So hopefully everyone had a good time. I had a great time running it. Remember, it's all for Extra Life. So if you like the content, please donate. If you think someone else would like the content, share this Twitter page with them, right? All of our details are in the descriptions on the Twitter page. So feel free to hit us up, follow us on Instagram, join the Discord, do all that cool stuff, right? But be involved and enjoy the story. We'll be back in 2 weeks to continue this interesting excursion into Bolivia. So thank you for watching. Have a good one.
Thanks for
Thanks,
donating.
everyone. Bye.
Thanks so much.